I was no-knock raided by the chief of police, Michael Moore of LAPD, with an entire SWAT team twice in the same month. Since that date, I began studying the history of America and constitutional law. I am an autodidactic constitutional law scholar. Over the past couple years, what I've done is I've been able to devise a system, understanding that the police have created a very rigid set of policies, procedures, and protocols that they use to arrest you. I've also created a very rigid set of policies, procedures, and protocols for you to follow that gives you back the power when you're forced to interact with these jackboot thug pigs. It has become a tyrannical jackboot thug police state, prison state, death state. I will win the governorship and I will change the policies from the top down.
Hi, I'm Corporal Wayne with the Philadelphia County Sheriff's Office. The reason I pulled you over is you don't have any tail lights on.
So cops got me pulled over. First thing I'm going to do when I start recording is I'm going to put this hand right here. You see that? You see how that works? This hand is now up in the air. My camera is going to bright up the sky. So if it's nighttime, then the coppers can see that the camera is in my hand. You can see that my hand is here. The other hand goes up into the window. I'm in touchdown position right here. My hands look like they're a goalpost. This hand is actually, I took my little miniature armrest right here. I put it up right here. Bam. This is how I use my trifold. If anything happens to me, I'm all set right here. Okay, now that I got this like this, my camera's rolling. Most important thing. Second thing, my elbow goes in the windowsill right there. Do you see that? My elbow goes in the windowsill right there. There it is, right there. Now, with this hand up in the air and this hand up in the windowsill right here, I'm all set. I'm all set. The most I'm going to do is take the same hand right here, reach down and slightly roll my window down just a scooch. I'm all set up. I'm in touchdown position. This hand is rolling camera. This hand is up here so that I can reach up and grab my trifold and my proof of identification and my license. Everything is up in my visor. When that copper comes up to my window and he says, "Do you know why I pulled you over? Do you know how fast you were going? How come you didn't pull over right away?" If he says, "Hey, can I get your license, registration, and proof of insurance?" Great. Because this hand is not going to have a camera in it. The one that I got my hand in now. My camera's in this hand over here. I'm in touchdown position, just like a goalpost. Now, from right here, I'm going to reach over and I'm going to, with the same hand that this phone's in, I'm going to reach over and grab my license, registration, and proof of insurance that is in my trifold right here. It's inside my trifold. Here's my license, registration, and proof of insurance right there. I got everything right there. See how that works? I'm just going to slide that bad chicken out. There's everything I have to provide by law right there. License, registration, proof of insurance. I have everything right next to my trifold. Now, no matter what he says from there, I don't care what he says. How fast were you going? Are you going to your grandma's house? Are you the big bad wolf? No matter what he says, I'm not going to answer any of his questions. I take my license, registration, proof of insurance that will be in my left hand, and I give it to him. You got it on video?
Not your actual.
No, that's not that, but that's got my DL number right on the top.
Okay.
D1940.
So you have your actual driver's license?
Well, I mean, that is an actual photocopy of my driver's license, a laser copy. Actually, if I take the rest of the tape off there, it looks prettier than my actual driver's license. There you go. I don't want to deal with he didn't identify himself. He didn't have his registration. He didn't have his current ID. He didn't have his current insurance card. No. I have everything ready to go. It's right here with the same hand right here. I'm going to take it like this, and I'm just going to slip my information right out the cracked window for that jackboot thug pig. Put it in the comment section. JBTP, jackboot thug pig. Put it in the comment section. I don't have a back and forth with the pig. I don't do that. I do not have a back and forth with that. Where are you going? Where are you heading? All that? No. I'm not going to answer any questions. I'm not even going to entertain it. Not going to nod. Nothing. I'm going to give him my license, registration, proof of insurance. I'm just going to slip it right there. That's how it's going to work. Here's my license, my registration, and my proof of insurance. Here's the insurance. Here's the rental car agreement. And my driver's license is right here. If you're poor and white or black or brown, don't reach around because you could die. It's a real thing. It's a reality here. So now I'm not going to get myself killed because I didn't follow a very rigid set of policies, procedures, and protocols. I'm recording everything with my phone from over here. Everything's being recorded. You see that? The phone is facing me, so my head is the most important thing. Now, once I've given him my license, registration, proof of insurance, I'm filming everything. He asked me where I'm going. I say I invoke my Fifth Amendment right to remain silent.
Okay.
If you ask me another question, you're violating my rights, and I'll file a lawsuit against you. Write your ticket, do what you're going to do, but don't harass me any further.
Your Honor, I'm showing him on camera that I'm invoking my Fifth Amendment right to remain silent. Piggy loses qualified immunity for questioning me. Say it with me. Piggy loses qualified immunity for questioning me. This is how it goes. This is the way it is. Now, if he says, where are you going? Where are you coming from? Do you have a firearm in the car? I'm then going to take my trifold and point at it, and I'm going to go down the list of questions. Don't ask me where I'm going. Don't ask me where I'm been. Don't ask me what my favorite color is. Don't ask me if I have a firearm. Don't ask me if I've been drinking. It says everything right there on your freaking trifold. You don't have to answer any questions. He says, where are you coming from? And I say, Your Honor, I have shown the pig at the window that I clearly have identified that I've invoked my Fifth Amendment, and he already asked me where I'm going. He's violated my Fifth Amendment right. I'm showing him on video. It's on the literature. Your Honor, this is for my federal civil rights lawsuit. If I was you, pig, I would just go write your ticket. That's what I would do if I was you, pig.
Get the hell out of my face. There's everything you need. Go on.
That's what I would. If I was you, piggy, I would go and write your ticket. This is how it works. This is how you use your trifold completely. This is the way you do it. There's no other way that I've taught. This is how you do it. Phone goes here. Elbow goes here. Trifold, identification. Everything is up in the visor here. I'm ready to go. These bootlicking troll channels, they sat down and they did the math one time and they said, well, Chille, if he sells 20 trifolds in a day, that's some pretty good money. Why would he live so poor? Why wouldn't he spend some money? Why wouldn't he go and do some things? Well, you jack off nobody. It's because I have a mission. There's a purpose here. My purpose is to get a trifold in every single car in America. The mission is to get the Fifth Amendment cop cards in everybody's wallet. The yellow and blue cards only come out when there's a pig in front of you. That's when the yellow and blue cards come out. You don't pull the yellow and blue cards out until there's a pig in front of you. You memorize the cards so you know it backwards and forward. But this is how you do it. This is how you do it.
Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the new redesigned Fifth Amendment cop card. Now, the driver card is in blue and the non-driver card is in yellow. Now, they're easily color-coded. So you know driving is blue, non-driving is yellow. You have to have a pair of Fifth Amendment cop cards in your wallet at all times. If you carry your credit cards in your phone, it's the exact same size as your Visa, as your driver's license. And these cards, they're made out of the exact same material as a hotel key, your Visa card, your driver's license. They don't destroy. It won't melt in your wallet. You need to have a Fifth Amendment driver and non-driver cop card in your wallet. These are the best gift you'll ever give anybody. Thanks. My name is Chille DeCastro, and I am Delete Laws. So there it is right there. What is going on out there in the land of YouTube? How is everybody? Let me see if I can. There we go. Thank you. I appreciate that. So thank you guys for coming. I appreciate it. As a lot of you know, I just got out of jail. I spent 4 months in the dungeon, and it was so horrifically bad. It was so horrifically difficult that it has to be changed. And so tonight, you know, Lenny, thanks for coming. Soy Leal, Patriot JC, there's so many of you guys. And I got Brick and BZ Watchdog and Michael Eline, and I got everybody here. I just, you know, I think first and foremost, you know, I want to say thank you to all of you people who helped me so much. You know, it's you guys made it through your crowdfunding efforts, so that this is really hard. This is a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. But you guys made it through your crowdfunding efforts that I wasn't completely bankrupted. It was close. It was close. We just really, you know, without
you guys coming through with the big numbers that you guys did, getting locked up for 4 months would have ruined me. It would have ruined me. It would have closed my office. It would have, I would have lost my car. I would have lost my living situation. I would have lost everything if it wasn't for you guys and your crowdfunding. And so I just want to say thank you to each and every one of you who pulled $5, $10, $20, $100, $1,000, whatever you did, $1. And if you guys shared the fundraiser or you donated to the fundraiser, I just want to say thank you, because we did lose a few people. We lost a few people who used to work for Team DLZ, and we're going to try to bring them back. But this nightmare that I was living in is now, that part of it is now over. Them locking me up unjustly, them locking me up because of biased, unprincipled judge, that is now over. And now we get to go at them through the same legal system that wrongfully incarcerated me. But, Stomper, I see you in there. Katie, I see you in there. Danelle Brown, Danelle Brown consistently donated to me when I was in jail. And I just want to say thank you. There's Ed, Maddie, David, Brick. Thank you. This is harder than I thought it was going to be. I really thought I would be put together a lot better than I am right now. We signed enough tears in the jail. There's Chuck coming through. But it's like, just to be 100 with you, right? Without you guys, I would have been ruined. Yeah. With that, so just so you know, I'm going to go into the nuts and bolts of the dungeon and what that was like. But, without Danelle and Cope Dog, and without Alan Hub and people consistently putting money on my books so that I could get, and as you can see, I had plenty of really bad food. Without you guys doing what you did for me, Derek is here. Good to see you, buddy. I would have gone under. It's 100%. Just so you guys know, the legal bills alone are just over $77,000 right today, right now. That you guys and me collectively with my savings, and you guys put in like $60,000 of money to pay for legal bills for me. And if that hasn't, if you haven't experienced something like that yourself, it's really hard to put in words how grateful I am as a person for what you guys did for me. There's just no other way to put it than thank you for what you guys did for me. And, Drophead 74 and, man, so many of you guys sent me books. I memorized like 3 or 4 books from top. I didn't plan on this. Sorry. I apologize. I'm sorry. I didn't plan on having this level of emotion. I didn't plan on this. I thought Mikey B is here. Mikey, what's going on? So I don't know how to ever thank you guys, but I think I do know how to repay you. And we're going to get into that a little bit here in a second, but American, good to see you. Eric, how are you, buddy? It's just, I cried enough in court and I cried enough in jail. And believe me, there were nights I cried in jail for sure. There were nights I cried. I sat there and I cried in jail. I planned on celebrating with you guys right now tonight. I had planned on just having a party with you guys and being like, yeah, we got the conviction overturned and we beat them, and now we get to go after that judge and that let's go OTVO. Now we get to go after the prosecutor and the judge, and we get to go after them. And I just planned on this just being a victory party, but before the victory party can begin, there would be no victory party if it wasn't for you. If you hadn't thrown in that $5, $10, I wouldn't have a place here in Los Angeles. I wouldn't have a place to shoot from in Vegas. I wouldn't have a place at all. I wouldn't have a car. My dog, I wouldn't have been able to keep him because I wouldn't have had a house to keep him in. And I told you guys that I am the tip of the spear and I will not stop fighting. But I want you guys to really understand. You guys kept me alive. You guys made it so that I didn't lose everything. It's real. That's real. You know, and it's not over. It's not over. You guys kept me alive. Without you, I would have lost absolutely everything. Without the editors who worked so hard, you know, Frankenstein and videos, without Brian from Here's the Deal, without Michael Eline, without Texas Gal and Brick and BZ Watchdog, without Danelle's and without Cope Dogs and without Rights On and without Clarkson Thompson. You guys don't know who Clarkson is, but you will one day. Without Clarkson and without my buddy Jay, I honestly would not have made it here today. Without my family. So, all right. I just want to, from the bottom of my heart, I just want you guys to know that I do understand that I wouldn't be where I am now if it wasn't for you. So I can go over the GoFundMes and thank individual people one at a time, which I'm going to do this week, each and every one of you. I'm going to go down that list of everybody who donated and say thank you to each and every one of you, because I would have been ruined. And the crowd here, all the people individually throwing in, I just can't say thank you enough. You know, I can't. So I didn't plan on sitting here crying right now. I had a totally different plan. I had a plan. Oh, you guys want to see Charlie? Charlie, come here. Come here, boy. Come here, Charlie. Yeah, I'll bring on Charlie here too. Miss Constitutional Rights, thank you guys for coming. I appreciate it. So before I just sit here and just cry and sob because this was just such an emotional thing, I want to show you exactly Alan Hubbs. So just Alan, you are my brother. Alan Hubbs, you mother trucker, your letters to me when I was in jail, Alan, the letters you wrote to me when I was in jail, it's just impossible to say thank you for Alan writing to me, Danelle Brown constantly putting a little bit of money on my books, Let's Go OTVO showing up in real life. And it's just, there's just been, I just don't know how to say thank you. It's just, I'm sorry. There's nothing I'm going to be able to do. The tears are just going to flow a little bit. Drophead 74. There's another guy kept me alive in jail. Kept me alive. Kept me alive. Kept gift packages and money and phone calls and you name it. And there's just, there's just no way to properly thank you, each and every one of you. There's no way I can say thank you enough times to enough people. I'm sorry. I didn't plan on this at all. I had a different plan for you guys right now, but it just didn't work out like that. So anyway, just from the bottom of my heart, I want to say thank you. And then I want to show you guys some plans that I want to make with you, because I do have a plan. There is a plan. I was sitting in a dungeon for months. I had nothing but time to sit and plan. I'm sorry. Hey, Chille, how are you? We're all praying for you. And look, you won and you're free. Stan, make a few bucks suing these tyrants from polices to judges. We love you, brother. Yeah. We're gonna sue the pants off of that. We're gonna sue the pants off of them. I give you my word. I give you my word. And I see my boy Chuck here. Chuck and I got to talk a couple times when I was in the dungeon, and thank you. I wanted to make this more about Eagle Eye Liberty. Good to see you, man. Claudette, good to see you. Free Dom, good to see you, man. Wow, it's just I apologize. Let me keep it in check here. So if you don't understand, you don't understand. But if you do understand, then it's been just let's bring on one person. Let me just bring on just one person. Just let me see what I can do here. There we go. So do I got you? Nope. I'm just trying to get BZ Watchdog here. Just BZ. There we go. I got you, BZ Watchdog.
What's up, Chille?
Hey, buddy. I just wanted to say thank you to you. BZ Watchdog is a guy who jumped on my channel a few times and really did me a service. How you doing, man? Thank you. I appreciate everything you did for me.
Appreciate that. Question is, how are you doing, man? I was getting teary-eyed just listening to you back here.
I'm okay. I just didn't plan on having this amount of emotional. I didn't plan on this. I planned on being able to do this without having any kind of emotional reaction at all. But unfortunately, it's a lot to. It is a lot to take in.
Gotta let it out, man. Gotta let it out.
Why don't you drop your link down in the chat real quick here and see if I can someone drop his link in the chat for BZ Watchdog.
Actually,
you guys,
to be honest with you, all your moderators have moderators on my channel. They've stuck by my side and helped me out why we've been keeping the cause going, because Team DLZ, we don't stop. We don't stop. So BZ, I'll do a special guest appearance on your channel this week, and we'll see if we can get a few more subs and a few more views over there, just to spread it around the best we can. And I just can't say thank you enough for what you did, man. I really appreciate you. Well, you know what? There were these doubters, man. I doubted Zimmerman. I doubted Bork. I doubted the habeas corpus. I doubted the bail. I did some looking into both your Judge Leavitt and your I'm trying to remember the city judge's name. Michelle. No, not Michelle. The one you have the other case with.
Oh, okay. The next case coming up.
Yes, and I have a feeling, based on all that I've been right so far, I figured Judge Leavitt would be at least fair and hopefully in our favor, which he was. And yeah. I feel that the other one is going to be in our favor. But now that we've overturned this, which is what I was thinking, I think they're going to end up dropping the other charges, because there is no case where you were outside a crime scene, where the other one you were on a traffic stop with a gray area traffic stop for obstruction.
Right. So, That's right.
So at this point, they I think they have less water than the first case you got convicted on.
I really hope so, BZ. Hello, James. How are you, buddy? Good to see you. Thanks. I appreciate that, Greg. I mean, there's just so many of you guys that I just fudge, man. I want to show something, BZ. So let me say thank you to BZ. I'm going to have you back on again in this next week, and I'm going to come on your channel as well. All right.
All right, brother.
I'll hit you soon. Later, my brother.
Appreciate it, man.
Okay. So then I want to add to the stage real quick, Brick Jones. What's going on, Brick? How are you, man?
What's up, Gov? Good to see you.
Brick Jones jumped in and helped me so much. Brick, I just wanted to bring you on and say thank you so much for all the help that you did. You know, like from one man to another, thank you for doing what you did for me. You stepped up for me in a big way, and I just wanted to call you out personally and say thank you, you know?
Thank you. Yeah, no. You know, it's a tough road, man. I've been there.
Yeah. Oh,
quite a few times. I've got a checkered past, and I try to make it known. I don't want anybody to be confused about that. You know, there's a bit of a lore around being behind bars, and that is that some people believe that if you've been behind bars once, that makes you a bad guy.
No, it doesn't. There was plenty of people. There was plenty of good people in that dungeon who I saw that were in there for child support, that were in there for a paid for ticket, for not showing up for court, that were in there because they had a traffic ticket that they didn't pay. There was a lot of people in jail that didn't belong there, and there was some people there who belonged there. You know, to quick shout out to my homies and to my Ennas. Like we had, you know, you create a bond with people in jail that you end up where you become friends with these guys because of what you both went through. So if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about.
Yes,
it was real hell. It was real hell. So, man.
Yes, sir. I do know exactly what you're talking about. But, man, yes, I really do appreciate you having me up here, man. It's a team effort, man. We're a team, right?
Yeah.
And
yeah.
We the people, Americans, we're a team of teams, right? And unity really revolves around being a team. And we might have our little teams, but we the people, we don't stop. So
we don't stop.
Thank you, sir.
We don't stop. I'll see you soon. Later, Brick. Okay, so now let me get into what I wanted to get into. I don't see Michael. I don't see Brian. I think Brian had something to do tonight. I'm not really sure where he was, but I want to show you guys a couple of things here, and I want to show you exactly what they did and how they did it. So this is the what's it like in jail at the CCDC in the dungeon right here. So this is the actual video here that I'm going to show. So this was the jail layout. You see this here? Let me see what you guys can see here. Okay. So this is what the jail layout looks like. If you guys are unfamiliar with what jail is like, you're looking at it right now. That's it right there. This is what the dorm looked like that I was in. So if you take a look at this is the whole layout. So you have over here, can you guys see my mouse on the screen? Let me know if you can see my mouse on the screen. I'm going to show you this. So this is what it looked like. This is the jail. You see these white right here on the right-hand side? Those are the windows. This green area on the right-hand side has a black line at the top and a black line in the middle. This was the rec yard. And then these are the tables. So they put these tables right here, cafeteria tables right here. And so this is where you would have breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Then these little yellow boxes, these are the 7 payphones that they had here where you could call out, collect. And so if you take a look right here, this is called the Sally Port. See where it says jail guard? If you go just north of that, there's a little red line there and a little red line there. This is called a Sally Port. And this is where they had these magnetic locking doors right here. And then they had more magnetic locking doors right here. So then right here where this little door is, was the barber shop. And this is what the bed layouts were. So the light blue squares that you're looking at, that was the metal bed that they stuck a little cotton thing on. And then the dark blue is a bookshelf that goes up about 3.5, almost 4 feet. And then your bed right here is at 2 feet, 2.5 feet. So this is how close you are to each person behind you. So you have the bookshelf separates you from the person behind you. And then right here, there's a little tiny desk where you can put your book and whatnot. So you guys can see that right there. Now, here's how it worked. At 3 a.m., you see the 3 a.m. come up there on the lower left-hand side. See, it says 3 a.m. right there. At 3 a.m., they would wake you up and they would do a face check. So this is row 1, this is row 2, this is row 3, and this is row 4. These over here are bunk beds. You see these 2 little blue squares on the far right by the windows. So these are bunk beds. Where underneath of these bunk beds are drawers for your books and your stuff like that. And so at 3 a.m., where it says 3 a.m. right down here, this is where they would wake you up at 3 o'clock in the morning and they would do a face count. And then from 3 to 3:30, they would serve chow. They call it chow right here at these tables. So these tables right here, just so you know, this little boxed in area right here, this is called the day room. I don't know why it's called the day room, but that's just what it's called. It's called the day room. Don't know why, but that's the name of what they call it. So now this is the day room where you eat your breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And from 3:30 a.m. until so from 3 to 3:30, you eat your breakfast. And then from 3:30 a.m. till 7 a.m., you're locked back down again on your bed. That's how it works. You're locked back down again on your bed. And so this is called the day room. Now, here's where it kind of starts to change on you a little bit. Let me see what we got here. Okay. So from 7 to 9 a.m., you're going to get free time. It's called free time in the jail. So from 7 to 9 a.m., that means they're going to see this pink door right here above the 7 a.m. and 9 a.m. They're going to open this door for either at 7 a.m. or at 8 a.m. You'll get 30 minutes to 1 hour in this rec yard over here, which there's a solid piece of steel on the roof. And then right here where these white bars are on the side, this is where there's a window to the outside world. But you can't look out the window. You're not allowed to look out the window. If you look out the window, they'll yell at you to stop looking out the window, or they'll lock you down to your bed for 24 or 48 hours. So from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m., you can come and sit right here in this day room. You're allowed to sit here. If you stand up in this area right here, the guard will warn you to sit down, maybe. But if you don't sit down, then you get locked down to your bed for 24 hours right there. You can go over here to the payphones where these yellow boxes are, and these are supposed to be payphones, whatever. So you can go jump on the payphone here, but if there's 2 of you there and you guys are using each other's PIN number to call a friend, which I could never share my PIN because they were listening to all my phone calls, then you get locked to your bed for 24 hours right there if you get caught with 2 guys at this. This was the library. Just so you know, this was my bed right here. This was my bed. At one point, when it was not free time, see where it says free time from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Well, then after that, free time ends at 9 a.m. From 9 to 9:30, you have chow again. That's your lunchtime. Lunch is from 9 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. And then after that, from 9:30 to 11 a.m., you are locked back down to your bed again. Now, what happened to me is my bed was right here. I got up out of my bed to get a book out of the tiny little library bookshelf right here, a dictionary, and that meant I got locked down for 24 hours to my bed. That's what happened. That's how it went. I got locked down to my bed for 24 hours for getting a book out of the library, which was a dictionary, because you people had sent me books. All the people in this crowd sent me books, all kinds of books. I don't know who they came from. So if you sent me a book or anything, you have to let me know who you are so I can thank you, because they don't let me know. They just give me the book and that's it. So from 9:30 to 11, you're locked back down again. Now, during my lockdown, when I was locked down in my bed for 24 hours, I stood up. I stood up. This guy over here was going to give me some food. So I stood up to meet him right here. And when I stood up to meet him right here to give him some food, to give me some food, I got locked down again for another 24 hours to my bed for standing up when I was in a lockdown. So, you know, let me be completely clear on this. So my blood pressure was 200 over 110, 195 over 105, 190 over 100, 185 over 115. My blood pressure was completely out of control. I explained to the guards that I need to move my body for 30 minutes to an hour every day to keep my blood pressure down. They told me, I don't care. If you get out of your bunk when you're in a lockdown, if you stand up from your bed, I'm going to put you in the hole. And I'm not sure if you guys heard my definition of what the hole was like, but it was absolutely horrendously bad. So then you're locked down to your bed again from 9:30 till 11 a.m. Now, let me show you something here. So I'm just going to go back just a little bit here. So, okay. So from 9 to 9:30, you have breakfast. Okay. From 3:30 a.m. till 7 a.m., you are locked down. Now, from 3:30 to 7, you're not going to, right in this little area right here, this is the Sally port. So these are magnetic doors and these are magnetic doors. And then this is the hallway that connects your dorm to all the other dorms. So right in here, what they'll do is they'll open this magnetic door and then they'll close it and they'll bring a medical cart in. And they'll put the medical cart right here and they'll open this. They'll have the jail guard come and stand right here by the nurse. And then the nurse will administer medication to everybody in the dorm. Now, you get free time in certain times of the day from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. As you can see there, you get free time. So what does free time mean? That means during the 1 hour, one of these 2 hours or 30 minutes of these 2 hours, the guard will open this door, pat you down, let you go in here. Here's a pull-up bar and a dip bar. And this is a really shitty basketball rim right here. And you can go in here for 30 minutes to an hour. However, when the med pass comes in here, it's called med pass for medical pass. They'll open this door and close it. They'll bring a nurse in here. Then during your free time, the 7 a.m. to 9 a.m., they'll lock you down to your bed. So you might be having free time at 7:30 a.m. Then the med pass person comes in there from 7:30. Well, then it takes 45 minutes or an hour. So then you're locked back down to your bed during your so-called free time that you get from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. And so then a big line forms right here in front of the payphones. So if you ever talk to me on the phone, you heard me say, I got to hang up right now or they're going to put me in the hole, because they will call you up by rows. Row 1, you get in line for med pass. Row 2 right here, you get in line for med pass. Row 3 right here, you get in line for med pass. Row 4 right here, you get in line for med pass. And so everybody has to stand in line here. Now, if you guys don't know, I was in a minimum security. So what that means is that most of the people inside of my dorm were homeless, were crazies, or recovering drug addicts. So the dorm holds 75 people. There was a turnover of about 10 to 15 people every single day. So that meant when I would see, holy shit. Thanks. Let's go OTVO. Yeah, wow. Thank you. Let's go OTVO. So, but I want you guys to understand exactly what the process was of this dungeon system. And this is what they do. Wanda, missed you, man. Missed you guys. So now let me zoom back in here. So you get free time from 7 to 9 unless the medical pass comes right here. And then they have to lock everybody back down to their beds because, as you know, when you're in jail, you're just going to go rushing the door over here to try to steal the meds off the med cart. Or maybe that's not at all true whatsoever, even kind of, sort of, because if you did anything like that, they would send in, 40 guys and they would literally beat you senseless. Now, I didn't see the guards beat anybody. There is some stuff I'm going to talk about that the guards did do. There was a guy who this is a whole different thing I'm going to talk about another time. So I'm not going to get into it right now, but I can tell you this. It was brutal. It was brutal what I saw. And I'm not going to go too far into detail right now because it's a different thing, but I want to talk about this. So now from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m., you'll get your so-called free time unless the med cart is right here. And if the med cart's right here, then everybody has to go to their bunk. If there's people out here, they got to be pulled inside through this little pink door, and they have to go lock down to their bed, and they have to sit on their bed. They can't stand up. You have to be sitting. If you're on a bunk bed here, you have to get on your bunk bed. And that's how that works. And then as you keep going down from 7 and then from 9 a.m. to 9:30 a.m., that's your lunchtime where everybody comes here. First, they call row 1. And here's how it works. They have to go down this row, back here, come through here. There's someone standing right here who hands you your lunch. And then you have to sit in this chair, and they have to sit in this chair. 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 Every table has to be filled with every seat. And if it's not, well, then those guards will lock you to your bed for 24 hours. That's literally how it works. Then they'll say row 2 come up, and then they have to go to the back of the room, file up over here, come through here. Someone hands you your lunch right here, and then you have to fill in the chairs as you go. Row 3 and then row 4. And they call this Boulder Highway down here because you're way off in the boondocks. It's just a way to insult people. It's absolutely horrendous. So then you have lunch from 9 to 9:30. And then after lunch from 9 to 9:30, from 9:30 to 11, you're locked to your bed again. And then as you move forward here, from 11 a.m. till 2 p.m., if you're in the minimum security prison, in the minimum security lockdown, as you know, they put me in medium for a while, then you get so-called free time. Free time includes you can jump on these payphones right here, or you can sit in what they call the day room here. Okay, so now let me show you guys this. So this right here is the bathroom. You see these toilets right here? So there's 6 toilets here. And the way that you can enter into the toilet is there's a door right here you can enter, but then you open the door and someone's going to the bathroom right here. Or you can come in through here. And then over here, there it is. These are the sinks. You see these over here, on the far right, these light pink things. Those are the sinks. And then these red dots down here, those are the toilets. You see the door I put right there to right here? That's where the door is. You see where I took my cursor off? And each one of these is toilets. Each one of these little round thing is a toilet. So you're sitting 2 feet away from another guy. They put a little brick wall here that's like 4 foot by 4 foot in between the toilets, but it doesn't matter. You look right over and you see the next guy next to you going to the bathroom. So these 3 down here, they call these the shitters. And then these 3 here, these are called the pissers. If you ever heard my story from LA County Jail in 2002, it's the same thing. You know, people who are in jail can't stand being told what to do, but yet they so quickly and so easily will put up a shitter or pisser sign. And if you don't follow it, people give you a lot of shit. They give you a lot of shit. Now, for me, because it was a minimum security, I was like, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. So now you're locked to your bed from 2:30 to 7 p.m. Do you see that? So after you're done having lunch at 2:30, oops, sorry about that. Okay, so from 2 to 2:30 you eat, then from 2:30 to 7 p.m. you're locked to your bed. You're locked to your bed all over again. So there's 4.5 hours. You can't get off your bed unless you have to go to the bathroom. You will be locked to this bed. It is absolutely horrifically bad. So now right here. So from 7 p.m. to 10:45, if you're in minimum security, then at nighttime, about twice a week, they'll have you use the barbershop. See the little entrance for the barbershop right there? So that means you can get your hair buzzed or get your hair cut. I went to my fade shop right down the street, and I got a fade when I got out of jail. But this is the barbershop where they give you some clippers, and you're allowed there. You have another inmate clip your hair with the attachments. Most of them are broken. And so it's terrible. And then right here, but again, 7 p.m. to 10:45 p.m., you get free time where you can sit here in the day room. There put some TVs. There's a TV right here, and there's a TV right here that dangles down from the roof. I didn't know how to put it in, so I can just tell you. So you're sitting in these chairs right here on the cafeteria tables. You can watch a TV here, or you can watch a TV here. You can get on the phone right here, or you can go into the barber shop, and sometimes you can get outside during rec yard right here. But it's not all the time. It's only sometimes that you'll be able to get into the rec yard because, it's jail and it's the height of control. So now from 10:45 p.m. until 3 a.m., you're locked to your bed again. You're completely locked to your bed. You can't get off your bed unless you have to go to the bathroom. Now, I'm not sure if you guys have taken a look at the jowls here on your boy, but I am carrying an absolute ton of fat. As a matter of fact, remember I told you in the Sally port right there, where this is the Sally port right here, this right here, where they let where they put the nurse in right there. They put the nurse in right here. The nurse will come through right here. And then what happens is, let me go like this right here. Okay, so then what happens is right here, they'll bring the nurse in here. Now, you're supposed to get free time at certain times, but they'll lock you down right here. Now, when the nurse came in here right here one time, the guard right here walked away for 1 second. And so I asked her, I said to her, hey, my blood pressure was out of control. My blood pressure, I didn't want to tell you guys this, but there was a couple times I was right at stroke level. They talked about hospitalizing me, putting me on medication. And so they eventually did put me on medication. And so anyway, so I asked the nurse when that guard walked away for a second, I said, how is the blood pressure and the diabetes in here? She said, we see people come in here who have normal blood pressure, normal sugar levels, and their diabetes, they can become pre-diabetic and their blood pressure spikes like crazy, like absolute crazy. And so there's a couple of things here. You know, I know that there's some of the guards at the Clark County Detention Center obviously are going to be watching this, you know, because it is what it is. Okay. And so it's about 4 out of 5 guards are total douchebags. But there's 1 out of 5 guards. There's 1 out of 5 that they signed up where they can make $100,000 a year. They just got to be willing to put you in chains to do it. And so there's some of those guys in there. I'm not going to say any names because I have another project going with a few of those guards. I'm doing a book with a few jail guards. So I've already set it up. I've been working on it for I worked on it for a long time. I would find individual guards who will come in and talk to me. We've already set it up. I've already been in touch with them since I've been out of jail. They're going to come in and I'm going to take their testimony on I have 20 different questions for jail guards. So if any of y'all want to meet up with me, I'm easy to get a hold of. But for the guards who were normal, for the guys who were not complete and utter pricks, thank you so much for being a normal, fair, decent person. I don't agree with the job you chose. There's 20 million other jobs you can do in America. I think you should do another job. But remember, these guys are getting paid almost $1,000 a day. Almost $1,000 a day. Every single day. Every day. That's how much they're making is $1,000 a day. Because not all of them, because they work, I guess it's about $600 to $700 a day. Because if they work a full schedule, that's only 6 months out of the year. They work 3 days on, 4 days off, or 4 days on, 3 days off. So at the end of the month, they've worked 14 of 28 days or 15 of 30 days, something like that. So now they're making $600, $800, $1,000 a day. So they're making $100,000 a year. If they put their resume out on Indeed or on Monster Jobs, they wouldn't make that kind of money. It's a real racket. It's a real racket. They're making money for what they're not qualified to make that amount of money, but they make that amount of money because they're willing to be a jail guard. Now, here's the really funny part is that some people, let me show you guys this. Some people, they would sign up to be a jail guard, right? And this is what Termite told me. There's a guy who was in jail with me named Termite who has written a bunch of writs for people, and I'm going to bring him on. But you see where that jail guard position is right there. And Termite explained something to me because 4 out of 5 of these jail guards are absolute assholes. They're total, complete assholes. And just so you guys know, at CCDC, I will be filing a lawsuit against you. 100% for what you guys did to me, for putting me in the hole and for locking me down to a bed for 24 hours when my blood pressure was 180 over 110. And you can't lock someone down to a bed and not allow them to move. And we're going to find out how that goes through my federal civil rights lawsuit, because I'm going to sue the Clark County Detention Center jail 100,000%. And so the guard that starts with the letter F, remember when they came in and they locked me down for live streaming a phone call? You're getting sued. For Batu, you're getting sued. For Lausch, the lieutenant, you're getting sued. I'm suing each and every one of you. Each and every one of you is being sued for what you guys did to me. What you did is the definition of cruel and unusual punishment. And I swear to Christ, I'm suing your ass. Guarantee it. 100,000%. You're getting sued by me. You can bank on it. You can take your bottom dollar and bet on it. I'm suing you. That's 1,000%. Look, I'm not going to sit here and be mad and be bitter and walk around grr in a huff. But let me tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to file my petition with the federal court, because when you lock someone down to a bed for 24 to 48 hours, when you say you have to stay on this bed right here, you can't get off this bed right here for 24 hours. They locked me down 2 days in a row when my blood pressure was at its absolute highest. Didn't allow me to move my body to get the sugar out of my blood to lower my blood pressure. They didn't let it. Letter starts with letter L. You know who you're talking, letter L, an Asian guy, you're getting sued. The guy who starts with letter R, you're getting sued. Each and every one of you. I kept track of every time I talked to you jail guards. Every single time I talked to any one of you, I ran back to my desk. I wrote down your name. I wrote down exactly what you said to me, word for word, verbatim. I kept absolutely extraordinary notes on everything you said to me, and you're getting sued. That's 100,000%. I swear to on my mother's eyes, you're getting sued. When they locked me down to my bed and my blood pressure, just so you know, if you ever have really high blood pressure, as my blood pressure was soaring, you can feel the pressure behind your eyes. I could feel this bolt from behind my head. You can feel the blood coursing through the vein on the side of your head. I could feel it. And when my blood pressure was the highest, I begged the guards. I said, listen, please, I need to walk around a little bit. I got to get this blood pressure down. And that guard told me, started with letter L. He said to me that if I got up from my bunk again, he would send me to the hole, which is even worse, thank you for coming, man. I really appreciate it. 22 months of a membership, huh? Thank you for coming. So is that, I can't read that. Razzle Frazzle, Razzle Frazzle. I don't know. Put your name in there properly so I can say your name properly. Thank you. I appreciate it. So now I have the best idea ever. So here's what we're going to do, right? Because of all this nonsense, I'm going to sue the jail. Okay, so let me explain something else to you. So they put me in the hole. Let me tell you what the hole's like. The hole is a room that's 5.5 feet wide in the beginning, and then it goes back 2 or 3 feet, 4 feet, and then it opens back up to about 6.5 feet. So it's 6 feet by 10 feet at the widest, 6.5 feet by 10 feet at the widest, and 5 foot by 10 feet at the across that 10-foot space. Then they put 2 wooden beds over there, and you have to get into that bed, which is a wooden bed. And then they open the door and they serve your food to you on the ground, and they give a little cardboard spoon. Well, they put me in the hole for live streaming a phone call. Well, to the Clark County Detention Center, I read your handbook from front to back. I do not have a near photographic memory. Did you know that? I used to tell you guys that I have a near photographic memory. That's not true. I don't, because I memorized every Supreme Court justice, every president, every state, so many acts, Constitution, every single amendment. I memorized the date and time of everything, right? And let me tell you something. It was hard. I had to really, really focus. I had to really work hard to memorize every single Supreme Court justice, every single president. I had to work so hard. I don't have a near photographic memory. What I realized is I just work really hard at remembering things. So with that being said, what are we going to do now? Here's my idea. Here's my idea. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to hold them accountable. We're going to hold each and every one of them accountable. It's right here. Here it is. I'm going to put this right here. I'm going to put this in the chat. And this is what we're going to do. Here it is right here. Because I believe after the conviction being overturned that we have got a smack dab home run lawsuit. So I don't know all the rules here of everything that we can and can't do. But here's what I did. I started a fundraiser, and this is Agnes Batulo. She's a Filipino. This is the judge, Ann Zimmerman, and this is Brendan Bork. And each and every one of them, I'm going to sue each and every one of you until the end of time. You're never going to get away. You're not going to get away with this. You are not going to get away with this. I swear to Christ. Zimmerman, you're not going to get away with this. You're going to be petitioned, and I'm going to sue you till the end of time. I promise you. And Bork, you're getting sued. And let me say her name properly because she's such a tyrant. She's such a tyrant. She literally said that she asked for a suspended sentence, and then Agnes Botolo, that's the name of the DA right there. You see her, the Asian girl. Then when I went for my appeal bond hearing, she said, remand him to custody. Instead of her saying, hey, judge, I initially recommended that we should just give him a suspended sentence. I stand by that. Instead, what Agnes did, the Asian district attorney right there, she said, no, we need to hold him in jail. You convicted him, Your Honor, beyond a reasonable doubt. The biased and unprincipled Judge Ann Zimmerman, Magistrate Ann Zimmerman. And then that prosecutor right there, you know what she did? She then said, let's leave him in jail. That's what she did. So just so you know, Agnes, that is called the Thompson-Clark ruling in 2023. That makes it so that I can sue you for malicious prosecution, which that's what this is about. And if you read the description of this GoFundMe, it's pretty vague. I keep it pretty vague that way. So, but here's what we're going to do, just so you know. This is what we're going to do. Here's what we're going to do. There's something I learned in the dungeon. When I memorized all of the Supreme Court justices, and I memorized all of them, you pick a year, put it in there, and I can tell you who was the Supreme Court justice, and I can tell you who nominated them. I can say how long they were a Supreme Court justice for, and I memorized all of them for the next thing I'm going to be teaching, which is that we need to elect the Supreme Court and they need to be impeachable by the people. That's the next syllabus I'm going to teach. So what I realized, though, is that these guys who are Supreme Court justices and presidents and senators, I just spent so much time learning, they die young if they don't have fun. You die young. You die in your late 60s, early 70s, but you die, that's pretty young, isn't it? That's pretty young. And I don't want that. I don't want to die young. And so here's my idea. What I want to do is I want to have a party. That's what I want to do. So what I'm going to do is, this is the fundraiser. And if you donate to the fundraiser, here's what we're going to do. When this fundraiser is over, and I'm going to win 7 figures for them wrongfully putting me in jail, I'm going to spend the equal amount, $100,000 in Las Vegas, with the 7-figure settlement that I'm going to get from the Clark County, because I'm going to get a huge settlement from this. And I'm going to spend $100,000, the same amount I'm raising, and I'm going to get a bunch of hotel rooms, and we're going to have a giant party in Vegas. Yes, that's what we're going to do. We're going to have a huge party in Las Vegas. And just so you guys know, I used to work 16 hours a day. That is over. I am not working 16 hours a day anymore. I'm working 10 or 11, and then I'm going to stop work. And I'm going to go spend time with my family, my friends, and my dog. I wasn't doing that. I was just working constantly. No personal relationships, no family time, no fun time. I was overworking myself. I really was. And if you read and you study the Supreme Court justices, as I did, I want to show you guys the book. As I learned that if you want to do it, you can work yourself to death. And that's what I was doing. That's literally what I was doing. And that has got to come to an end. That's over. I'm now, just so you know, it's 7 p.m. right now. And when I'm done here, I'm going to go spend time with my nephews and my niece, and I'm going to go spend time having dinner with friends and family. I wasn't doing that. I was working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, constantly. Let me grab the book. Let me grab the book. So listen, we're going to raise $100,000. I'm going to sue each and every one of them. And then I'm going to spend that same $100,000 to get maybe 100 hotel rooms for the people who donated. And then I'm going to rent different places in Vegas. And we're going to spend an entire weekend with Team DLZ. I thought about it in jail the whole time. What can I do? I don't know if I can promise to give people their money back or not. I don't care about that. Let's raise the money, sue the pants off these people, sue the pants off of them. Ann Zimmerman cannot get away with this. She cannot get, and just so you guys know, you're allowed to petition any government official anytime you want. You're not allowed to threaten them. As you can hear, I'm not threatening. I'm threatening you with the civil rights lawsuit, but you're not allowed to threaten them with violence or trying to scare them, which I never asked you guys to do. But from what I understand, when I was in jail, there were people who said to you, don't petition the judge because you can get prosecuted. That's not true. That is not true. You can petition Ann Zimmerman right now. You're more than welcome to petition her. You can send a petition to Michelle Levitt and say, good job, you got it right. You're allowed to petition the government. You're not allowed to make threats. You're not allowed to make people in fear for their lives, but petitioning is a First Amendment right, the right to petition. You always have that right. Let me tell you something. We are not going to stop. I swear to you. I swear to you. I swear to God. Agnes, Bork, Zimmerman, you guys, and we are connected for the rest of my life. Chevy! What's going on, Chevy? What's going on, Chevy? Missed you, buddy. I missed you guys so much. Claudette, good to see you. Holy smokes. Writes on, good to see you. So you say, good to see you. Let's go OTVO. Good to see you. April, nice to see you. Will, good to see you. Katie, how are you? Holy smokes. Man, Brick is here. Listen, I don't know if you guys know it or not. Mikey B is here. Katie Fry is here. Holy smokes. I mean, wow. I mean, if you guys don't know what this is like for me, let me just tell you, this is super overwhelming. This is the amount of people who supported me and backed me up and shared my videos and talked about what I was going through. And just so you know, when you go to that jail thing, it was absolute and total hell. So just so you know, I created this GoFundMe. This GoFundMe is only for legal costs. I've spent a little over $77,000 so far. Legitimately. And on my next live stream, I'm going to pull out all the receipts. I'm going to show you guys every single receipt of the amount of money I have spent on lawyers. $77,000 so far. And a couple of those were for different things, but $77,000 in legal fees so far. And now to sue these people properly, just, you know, we have to get the best civil rights attorney in the country because none of them want to sue the judge. None of them. I've talked to so many different lawyers that do not want to sue a judge. Well, let me tell you something. I found somebody who will sue that unprincipled and biased judge. And, you know, listen, I'm not sure if you noticed or not, but I've changed my verbiage ever so slightly, and I'm keeping myself electable because one of us has to get to the point in government where we make executive decisions to ban these torture cuffs. Oh, just so you know, when they came and took me to the hole, right? I was live streaming a phone call with Brian from Here's the Deal. Big shout out to you, Brian. And they came into the dorm I was in and they put me in torture cuffs. They put me in torture cuffs. Like I can't figure out why they did that. So let me show you guys something here. So right here. Okay. Let me see what you guys see. Okay. Let me make it so you guys can see. Okay. Cool. Thank you, Butch the Original. Good to see you. Wow, man. Good to see you, my friend. Javro, what is going on? Good to see you, man. Good to see you guys. So check this out. So in the dungeon right here, I live stream a phone call right here from this yellow payphone. Then what happened was when I live streamed the phone call, all of a sudden the phone call said the phone call's gone dead. And that's what happened. The phone call just died all of a sudden. And so I was at this yellow payphone right here. And then all of a sudden the jail guard over here announced, everybody go back to your bed. So I went back to my bed right here. And then next thing I know, a bunch of guys came in through the sally port and they said, face down, turn over. This is the sickest thing that this jail does. They make you turn over on your bed, which is a steel sheet with a little 1-inch cotton garbage thing on it for some sort of padding. They make you turn over on your face and go face down, where they bring 20 or 30 guys and they're all wearing their blue murder gloves. And they're screaming at you, face down, shut up, face down. Like, then when they came in, you see where they came in when they came in through the sally port doors right here, they came in through here. Then they came to my bed and they put me in torture cuffs. And then they dragged me down this hallway, which led to the hole. But the thing is they never asked me. They never said, hey, will you get up and walk with us to the hole? They never gave me that option. They just put me in torture cuffs. And then they grab you like you're a bag dog, and they grab you by the scruff of your shirt, and they twist their hand in it and make a fist in your shirt as they lean you forward, and they're driving you down to the hole, which I just don't understand why that is. Like, why in the world did you guys treat me that way? We're going to find out if that kind of behavior is appropriate, because I'm suing Clark County Detention Center. 100,000% you're getting sued. Your policies and practices are the way you guys operate. It's a policy, practice, and procedure that you guys are doing there. Let me tell you what else they did. In the Clark County Detention Center, in the handbook, it says when you go to the hole, you can have 2 fiction or nonfiction books, 5 religious books, a pencil, and paper. Well, Clark County Detention Center guards have taken it upon themselves to just decide on their own, outside of the Clark County Detention Center handbook, that they're not going to give you a book. You're not going to get a pencil. That's what they decided. Well, when they put you in a 6 foot by 10 foot room with no book and no pencil, you go crazy. You start to go crazy. You literally start to lose your mind. It's the most, it is the most inhumane and cruel punishment ever. And so then I asked them, each and every one of you guards, each and every one of you that I went up to you and I said, hey, and just, you guys know who you are. When I said to you, hey, they put me in the hole, they didn't give me a book and they didn't give me a pencil or pen. Each one of them told me, oh, you're supposed to get a book and you're supposed to get a pen. I wrote down your names right after you gave me the quote. If you read the Clark County Detention Center handbook, it says that I'm supposed to get a pencil, supposed to get a pen, and supposed to get 2 fiction or nonfiction books and 5 religious books. And the Clark County Detention Center dungeon masters, they've just decided on their own that you don't get a book. Well, I believe that's CUP, cruel and unusual punishment. And I believe that that's going to go in my federal civil rights lawsuit. So, and there's this sergeant in there, that's Sergeant BATU. This guy, he got some cuffs, and I have 2 different jail guards on the record that I wrote down exactly what they said to me, that he makes sure that his handcuffs are the small handcuffs and that the chain between them is short, so that you're being tortured when he puts the torture cuffs on you. I asked him, I got 2 guards on the record saying that this sergeant particularly uses them because he knows they'll be extra painful. Every single guard I talked to about the torture cuffs, each and every one of them admitted that torture cuffs are torture. So when I talked to you guards, I ran back to my bed and I wrote down every word you said with your name right by it. That way, in the federal civil rights lawsuit, there would be no mistaking who said it and what you said exactly. Now, for the 1 out of 5 guards, that was really cool. And there's a couple, I don't want to say your names because there's people working with me to do this next book. Thank you. Thank you for being a normal person. Thank you for not treating me like I'm worse than a rabid dog. I appreciate that. And there's a couple guys in there who I wish you'd get a different job, man. But dude, thank you. Thank you for being you. Thank you for treating those guys fairly and treating those guys decently. Thank you for not cheating me and abusing me. And thank you for, they have a mirror in there. So, so here, if you guys can see this, sorry. At these 3 sinks down here. Let me see what I can do. So there's 3, these sinks down here. There's 6 sinks right down here. Do you see them? Right down here. Those are supposed to represent the sinks. Right outside the bathroom toilets, there's a wall right here that ends, and then you have the sinks down here. Well, let me explain something to you. Those sinks right down there, these sinks right down here, they each one have a mirror above it. Right here where this cursor is. You see them right there? I kind of put like a little pink square. I'll do it better on my next video. But right here, there's sinks. And in the dorm that I was in, 3 of those sinks don't have a mirror at all. It's just not even stainless steel. It's just some piece of metal that you can barely see a reflection in. If you took one of your pots at home that's not stainless steel and turned over the bottom of it, it's got the chrome bottom on it, but it's not chrome. It's a dull finish. They have those as sinks, as mirrors for you to shave in. Well, one of the guards forced me to shave in a mirror that's not a mirror, and I cut myself all up. How in the world do you think that you're going to do that to me And I'm not going to sue your ass for cruel and unusual punishment. It is cruel and unusual punishment to give a man a razor and then say, yeah, go shave in that fake mirror. And then I cut the shit all over my face, little cut marks all over my face because the mirror doesn't work. It's not a mirror. It's not a mirror. And that's what they did to me. That's what they did to me. They made me shave knowing I would cut myself. And they did it anyway. They put me in a hole knowing I'm supposed to get a book. I'm supposed to get a pencil and paper. They wouldn't give me one. I even said to them when I was in the hole, can I please get a book? And they said, no, you can't. Dude, good to see you, man. Good to see you, Cortland. Good to see you, man. Thanks for the donation. I appreciate it. Man, thank you. I appreciate it. Mark, it's good to see you, man. Wow. I'm just so okay. So here's the thing. I'm not going to sit here and worry about it constantly. What I'm going to do is I'm going to file my federal civil rights lawsuit. And what I want to do is I want to have a competition. I want to see already 860 in there. Wow. Already. Ed's already put 250 in. We're going to hold them accountable. That's what we're going to do. We're going to hold them accountable. I swear to you, we are going to hold them accountable. That's what we're going to do. It's the only way to do it. Each and every one of these tyrants, Bork, Zimmerman, and Agatha, you all have to be held accountable through the legal system. And then for Zimmerman, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do targeted Facebook ads that show the people in her zip code, in her district in Las Vegas, what she did to me. I'm going to make little 8-second videos, 15-second videos, and 30-second videos explaining that this magistrate right here, that she put me in a dungeon for simply holding a camera and filming a cop. Every single person in America is going to know what this magistrate did. And you notice I'm keeping the words very PG because I'm in no way, shape, or form threatening anybody other than with media and with legal procedures. I want all these people to live a long, healthy, fearless life. But what I want to do is I want to get around your judicial immunity. I want to get around your prosecutorial immunity. I want to get around your cop immunity. And I want you to have to pay for what you did to me. That's what I want. That's what I want. And I'm not angry or bitter or mad. Look, I'm not sure if you can tell, but this is what happened. And now we're going to hold them accountable. And then when I get that 7-figure settlement, we're going to have a giant mother trucking party in Las Vegas, Nevada. So you can plan your vacation, plan your trip. And if you're one of the donors, I'm going to get like 100 rooms. And I don't care where we stay, but I'm going to get a Team DLZ party like no other. I'm going to spend the equal amount of money that we raise on the GoFundMe because we are going to get at least a 7-figure settlement. At least. There's no way in hell they can do what they did. And any sort of jury will look at that and say, yeah, they should be able to get away with that. The kangaroo court that Ann Zimmerman ran, where she bought that there was some 21-foot rule. There is no 21-foot rule. Ann Zimmerman knew better. She did it anyway because she was married to a copper, and that's what she wanted to do. Ann Zimmerman is going to have to pay for what she did through the judicial system and through media, where people know that she's the person that did that to me. And that's going to be the way it is. Ann Zimmerman's going to have to find out that, Ann, I'm pretty famous across the country, and I'm going to make Ann Zimmerman as famous as I am because our names are synonymous now. When you look up Ann Zimmerman, I pop up. So that's the way it's going to go. She has to be held accountable through the judicial system. That's the only way that I want to do it. I don't want to do it any other way. And then through media to let the people in her zip code and in her and the zip code that she works in, I want them to know that this biased, unprincipled judge put me in jail and tried to sentence me for 6 months. But Michelle Levitt overturned that conviction. So let me talk about something a little bit more. So as you guys know, and you saw, jailing is failing. That's 1,000% true. Jailing is failing. So as you guys saw, Michelle Levitt exonerated me of the charges, overturned the convictions. But she denied the appeal bond hearing in April because I called that bailiff a pig. Listen, I've already said to my friends and to my family, if you guys haven't heard this already, to the people who my supporters are, I shouldn't have called the bailiff a pig. I'm sorry for doing it. A court of law is supposed to be a place where you get justice. It's supposed to be a place where you try to find justice. Now, they violated my Fourth Amendment, illegally searched and seized me, and then he snatched the phones out of my hand, which is assault, and I'll be holding them accountable with my federal civil rights lawsuit. But even still, when someone wrongs you, it's not your job to meet them with a wrong. I shouldn't have said it. I shouldn't have said it. It's just that simple. I shouldn't have said it. I'm sorry for saying it to my family who were embarrassed by me saying that. I apologize to you, to my friends, to my supporters. I shouldn't have said it. It's not that I don't feel it. The bailiff illegally searched me, digging in my pockets, ripping my pockets out, grabbing my suit coat, roughing me up. Was I mad? Did I think he was a pig? Absolutely. Is he a pig? 100% he's a pig. A court of law is not the place to hurl insults. And I sat in that dungeon for 18, 20 hours a day on that bed, and I thought about it 1,000 times over again. It's not the right forum, and I shouldn't have done it. Don't do what I did. It was a mistake. There's no other way for me to be any more honest about it than what I'm doing right now. I own when I make a mistake, and I did. That doesn't mean that the biased and unprincipled judge, Ann Zimmerman, should have locked me up for 6 months when there was no obstruction. Obstruction is a physical act. And when you watch the video back, let me pull this up for you guys. Let me pull this up for you guys. I want to show you guys this so that you can see it yourselves. I want you guys to see it. I watched this just recently, and I want to show you guys this. I saw this yesterday, and I want to say thank you to a couple people who showed me a couple things. Watched a bunch of Olympic wrestling when I got out. Okay, here it is. I believe that's it. There it is. So I got this right here. I'm going to share this with you guys. I'm going to watch. So here's the fundraiser. You guys saw that. We're going to have one. We're going to have, so this one right here, Agnes Bothello. Sorry about that. This woman right here, this was the prosecuting attorney. Well, Agnes, you're going to be sued for malicious prosecution, because when she went to the appeal bond hearing, she said, Your Honor, you convicted him. You found him guilty beyond a reasonable doubt, and so we need to leave him in jail. Well, Agnes, you can say that all you want. She can say that all she wants. And I can file a federal civil rights lawsuit against her for malicious prosecution, which is exactly what I'm going to do. I think you guys know I'm not joking one single bit. Not one single bit. She's getting sued. So now I want to show you guys a couple of things here that I saw in this video. Thank you to the editors for putting this together. So he sees me walking up with a camera in my hand.
Don't engage my driver. Back up. Hey, back up. Back up.
Oh, I see. Oh, gotcha.
You can film me. You need to stay away from my driver. Back up.
Did you hear what he said? Back up, stay away from my driver. You don't own her, dude. It's not your stop. It's our freedom. There's a big difference.
I mean, and take a look at what an angry little man he is. Look how angry he is.
Dude, it's not your stop. It's our freedom. There's a big difference.
Back up, or I'm going to detain you.
You're going to detain me how? In which way?
Get away from my car.
Actually, I'm standing right here. I'm at least 10 feet away, officer. I got to tell you, I'm a constitutional law scholar. You can do whatever you want, but just understand something. Your name will go on the lawsuit. Mind your own business. Mind your own business. I'm a member of the press. Go get in your car and do your job, little doggy. Go feed her.
There it is right there. You see that? He lost his composure right there. He's already half cocked right here. You can see him. His arms are spread out like he has some back muscles, and he's half cocked. You see it? And I'm the only one who keeps my cool through this entire thing.
Own business. I'm a member of the press. Go get in your car and do your job, little doggy. Go feed her.
You're being detained right now.
Okay, then detain me. Oh, she's free. Oh, you're gonna detain a journalist? 2015, Rodriguez.
Over my car.
Don't put your hands on me.
Come over.
Don't touch me. Don't put your fucking hands on me. No, you're not. I gotta make sure. Hey guys, make sure you guys get my people on the phone. Oh, this is so you ended the stop, you dunce cap. Did you just end the stop? So that's
Yes.
a 2015.
Come over here in my car.
No.
Come over here.
No.
So that's an unlawful order. That's why the resisting charge was removed, because when the reason why the conviction was overturned and the resisting charge was also overturned, the conviction was overturned, is because he's given me unlawful orders. I haven't done anything wrong other than filmed him and called him a little doggy, but I haven't done anything wrong.
Need an additional unit.
Bring your supervisor, please.
So now you hear that? Calm, cool, and collected. Bring your supervisor, please.
Bring your supervisor, please. Don't touch
Over
me.
to the car.
You don't get to put your hands on me. Don't grab me. Don't grab me. This, you're not. First get your supervisor out here. You're not just going to grab me and throw me on the ground. You've already released. You've already released her. This is 2015, Rodriguez versus United States. I'll walk right in front of your car. Let's go. Sure. Come on. Come on. Come on.
You need to set the phone
There you
down
go.
on
No.
the hood.
No.
Okay, so now he's telling me I need to set my phone down on my hood. Well, it's actually NRS code 171.1233 that says I have a right to film police, and he can't obstruct me from filming police. And he's telling me to take my phone and go set it on the hood of the car. He's violating NRS code 171.1233. Why isn't there a criminal code for him? He should be charged with violating 171.1233.
I'm a constitutional law scholar. You can't take away
Set
my
the
phone.
phone down on the hood.
I'm now.
You're being detained.
Okay, do you see that right there? When he reached out right there, it was natural for me to put my hand up, because when someone grabs you, you put your hand up.
Constitutional law scholar. You can't take away my
Set the phone down on the hood.
I'm now.
You're being detained. Now you're going to put hands on me.
No.
Come
Oh,
over
do you
here.
see that? Okay, now look. This beta male chumpzilla has his hands on top of my shoulders.
Why are you grabbing me?
You see that? He's above, I'm below. Lucky him that I'm a law-abiding citizen.
Come over here. Sure.
And of course, when someone has their hands above you and you're under them, they can't just throw you around like a rag doll, but he sure was trying.
Over here.
The phone roll.
I don't care about the
Why
phone.
are you grabbing
Turn
me?
around.
I'm a
Turn
member
around.
of the press.
Turn around.
I'm not doing
Okay, so
anything.
now I'm a member of the press, but he wants to cuff me because torture cuffs are always torture. Put it in the chat. Torture cuffs are always torture.
You're being detained
not
right now.
doing
Turn
anything.
around.
Get your supervisor.
Stop.
Hold on. Wait.
Stop.
Are your cameras on? Are your cameras on?
Yeah, it's on.
Okay, then
Put your
don't
hands
put me
behind
in-
your back.
No.
You're going in handcuffs.
Why?
Put your hands
Why?
behind
Well,
your
we know why. We know why he wants to put me in torture cuffs. Why does he want to put me in torture cuffs? How come he wants to put me in torture cuffs? Does anybody know the answer? Why does he want to put me in torture cuffs right here? How come he wants to do that? Am I a danger to him? Am I a danger to society? Am I a danger to myself? The answer is no on all three of them. Then why does he want to put me in torture cuffs? What's the point? I've already identified myself as a member of the press. I pulled out my second phone and was recording with that as well. At that point, this JBTP, he should know that I'm a member of the press, and I'm informing him I'm a member of the press. So why does he want to put me in torture cuffs? I'm just curious.
back.
Can we slow down? Get a supervisor. I haven't done anything
No,
wrong.
put your hands
I
behind your
haven't
back.
done anything wrong.
Don't make me use some
If you want to
tactics on
detain me, then detain
I am
me
putting
here.
you in handcuffs.
But I'm not putting my hands
I'm
on my
putting you in handcuffs because torture cuffs are always torture. He wants to torture me for me because I made him mad.
Facing the hood.
I'll
Turn
face the
around.
hood.
Policy to put it behind.
Don't
Listen,
be
behind your back.
For
Right
what?
now, you're going to get a ticket.
For what?
If you do not put your hands behind your back, you're going to jail. Put your hands behind your back.
Can I turn my
Do it
camera around
now.
and face me?
No,
Can we agree on
no,
something?
I don't know if you have any weapons.
I don't have any weapons.
Stop reaching.
There's no weapons on me, guys. I'm a
Stop
journalist. I'm a constitutional law scholar. You
Listen.
extended a stop to
Put your hands behind your back or you're going to jail. I'm placing you in handcuffs right now.
For what
Turn
reason?
around.
For officer safety, right?
Turn around for officer safety.
Okay. Is the camera still running, guys? The camera's still running.
So he's got count it 1, 2, 3, 4 cops around me, but he needs to put me in torture cuffs for his safety. Well, then maybe you should hire some tougher cops, because if you got 4 of those JBTPs all around me, then you shouldn't need to put me in torture cuffs. You should let me go right here, but they don't.
I don't care.
Your car like you're asking me to do.
I don't care about the camera. Put your hand behind your back. Do not reach for this phone.
Look at all the cops.
All right. So I called Sergeant Torrey. He doesn't have to come out here, but he said he's going to come out here anyway. So, because you requested him, right? Do you still want him?
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
I want to file a complaint against you, bro.
Okay.
Like, you can't just grab me because I'm filming you. Like, you
So
can't
now, look how calm I am. Explain to him the law.
do that. I mean, sooner or later, after your egos calm down, you realize I didn't do anything to film, dude. You just act like a jerk.
Told you back up. It's simple.
But I'm just standing in the parking lot, bro. I'm no threat to you. I mean, come on, dude.
You weren't
This
just
is silly.
standing in a parking lot.
Dude, I'm no threat to you, man. It's the middle of the day. I look like a normal dude. I don't look like a psycho. I was literally just filming you and you freaked out.
Your
There
lips
it
are all
is.
white.
Because I'm mad. I need some water.
No, they were like that before.
What a load of poop on a stick. What an absolute load of shit. They'll do anything to paint you bad, to paint you ugly, to paint you wrong. And this cop is going to lose his qualified immunity. Now, there's something in Vegas called the Las Vegas Policeman Protection Association. And I believe when this JBTP loses his qualified immunity, that the Las Vegas Police Protection Association will swoop in and pay his loss of qualified immunity. That's what I think is going to happen. I wonder if there is a similar thing for judges who lose their judicial qualified immunity, because that magistrate, Ann Zimmerman, has to be held accountable through the same legal system which she wrongfully incarcerated me and wrongfully put me in a dungeon for months.
Do you use any drugs?
What are you trying to do? You're trying to make it like I'm some sort of drug addict or alcoholic or druggie? It won't work, bro. I have no criminal records. So let's get into the court stuff. This is really interesting because I have a federal civil rights case going on against Nevada, against the coppers in Nevada, and then I have a criminal case in Nevada. And so the criminal case and the attorneys representing the district attorney's office in the criminal case, they are not in touch with the attorneys who are on the federal civil rights case that I filed. So let me show you specifically what the court is doing here, or the system is doing here in Nevada, which is an absolutely broken system. It doesn't work. It's never going to work. So let me see what you guys see so I can zoom in on this bad chicken. Okay, there it is. There it is. I'll put my mug down here. Department attorneys, when they filed a most accessible.
Let me ask you a question. Angle, you little question. Do you think you guys got a tiny strip? How small is this? Let go of it, bro.
Okay, so right here, the dishonorable, disrespectful, lowlife pig that is Sorensen, that is what's his name again? The guy who put his finger into my ulnar nerve, dug his thumb in there. That pig is torturing me. He's torturing me. And right here, the Las Vegas Review said that I made sexual remarks to the police. So listen to this. Let me know if you think this sounds like a sexual remark.
What a tiny dick you have, bro. What a tiny little dick you have, dude. You're getting you can't even get it up. You gotta use my ass, bro.
So I told him he couldn't get it up. You have to use Viagra because he's torturing me. Sandoval. That's his name, is Sandoval.
You're such a weak bitch, bro. Someone should have me a C-section. You're such a pussy, bro. You feel good squeezing my arm, bro.
Control K Robert 4, can you copy logo?
Hey, Robert.
First P number will be Charlie 16799 Lincoln. Second P number, Mary 15110
Yeah,
Charlie.
Sergeant Torrey's going to come out. If you can just let me watch him. And then it's going to be a full booking. He's going to jail. It was approved by Sergeant Torrey. and he meets criteria. So.
And he meets criteria? No, I didn't meet criteria. Someone let Bill Huston know what JBTP stands for. I didn't meet any criteria. I walked up filming. I announced I'm a constitutional law scholar. I'm a member of the press. I explained to him that what he was doing was unreasonable. And what I liked that the editors did on this video is they show that I was the only reasonable person, because the video camera shows it, that I was the only reasonable person on the scene during this entire thing. These guys were all unreasonable. Jesse Sandoval, this piece of shit right here behind me, who's torturing me right there. He's digging his thumb into my own.
I don't think you're in shape, bro. I think you're only doing this to make it you can. I'm in shape under it. I'm a little fat.
So you say I want to say thank you. I didn't know who sent the care packages. They don't have any names on them. So if you did, thank you. I appreciate you, man.
You see his thumb right here? You see how hard he's pressing into my ulnar nerve? This is the reason why I have nerve damage in my hand. And
so let me clarify this. So I do have nerve damage. I get some numbness still, but my feelings come back quite a bit. 98, 99%. I still get some numbness once in a while, but I actually did a nerve damage test and I don't have permanent nerve damage in my hand. I know on this video, I said a few times that I do have permanent nerve damage, but that's not true. So I just want to keep everything 100 because I don't have permanent nerve damage. I definitely had a numbness in there for a very long time, but it's mostly gone. Once in a while, I'll get a little numbness right here, but it's pretty much all the way back now. Just to be 100% transparent with you guys.
Can't feel the left side of my hand anymore. It's just numb all the time. And so this is what he...
I'm doing 9 cops in Ohio.
Yeah, so if you can just tell me what.
Henderson, Henderson, what position do you play? You play linebacker?
Henderson. Is that what you just called me? Henderson. Now you're insulting my name, my God-given name.
I'm trying to remember all their names, but my mouth is dry. My lips are chapped. I'm out of water. You know, my adrenaline has flowed, so I need some liquid because look at my lips. They're all white and chapped. And instead of treating me with a modicum of decency and realizing that my mouth is dry and I need something to drink, they instead allowed this man to sit and torture me.
Was I what? I never played sport in my life. You didn't play football? No. I read books.
He didn't read books. So notice he's still pushing. It's ever so slight. It doesn't have to be more than a few pounds of pressure, but that's what's causing the permanent nerve damage in my left arm.
You wouldn't be doing this if you actually read books.
You wouldn't be doing this. So just so you know, I'm not a gladiator because I continue to read, or I would easily be a gladiator. So look, he's still pushing. Do you see that? Watch the constant, focused, hard pressure directly on my nerve. He's still digging the thumb into my nerve right there. There's just no reason to do. Now I say to him, so right there, I said to him, he must have a tiny penis because I don't know why he's sitting there doing this to me, but he's doing it on purpose. He's acting like he's not doing anything, like he's not nonchalantly he's just holding me, just escorting me. But what he's actually doing is a trained method of hurting another person. Watch. Do you see it? He's still look how his thumb is buried into the clothing, digging his thumb deep into my ulnar nerve. You see it?
You see what he's doing right here? This guy should be held accountable for what he did. I mean, you guys can see it, right? Like you can see it. He's focused diligently and purposefully digging his thumb into my ulnar nerve. And you can see it. You can see the amount of pressure that he's applying to me to hurt me. And I just don't understand why. I don't understand how can that be legal? How can this be right? I'm no threat. I'm not running. I'm surrounded. There's 5 different cop cars there, 7 or 8 cops surrounding me. Why does he need to sit there and torture me that way? How come he has to sit and torture me that way? I don't understand.
He's acting nonchalant, but he's very hyper focused on what he's doing. He was trained to do this. Someone else showed him this technique. I guarantee it. When we get his personnel file, we're going to find out. But look at that. He's burying it into my ulnar nerve.
Let go.
I said, how small is your dick, dude? Let go of me. Because he's hurting me at this point. My arm is going numb. My hand is going numb. I'm starting to get angry because I'm sitting here being slowly tortured. And look at the focus of this man. Look at the focus of this man. He's caused permanent damage in my hand.
It's not permanent. It wasn't permanent damage.
Now he's trying to say that I have to face a certain way or he's going to continue to torture me, and he's going to torture me anyway.
Look at him. Look at him. Look what he's doing.
I'm telling him he can't get it up.
He's trying to say that I'm going to run off as he digs his thumb into my elbow.
Look at the focus. Look at the focus. He's pretending like he's not focused.
So we sue the dog. We sue the pants off these people is what we do. Here's the GoFundMe. We're not going to stop. And what I'm going to do is match these funds. And we're going to have one hell of a party in Las Vegas is what we're going to do, because we will win a 7-figure settlement for what these people have done. There's no way that we won't. There's no way that we won't. We will win a 7-figure settlement. And then, listen, I'm telling you now, I'm not going to work myself to death. I refuse. I'm not going to do it. I read every Supreme Court justice. I'm going to grab the book and I'm going to show you guys. I put the GoFundMe there. We sue the pants off them and we get the best civil rights attorney in the country. Every dime of this money is going to hold them accountable. That's what I care the most about, is just holding them accountable. Not going to be mad, not going to be bitter. We're going to hold them accountable. That's the point. You're going to be held accountable for what you did. That's all. Just like you tried to lock me up, and you did lock me up for 4 months for nothing. For me filming a cop, you locked me up. Well, Agnes, Zimmerman, and Bork, the 3 of them will be held accountable along with Sandoval. That's what'll happen. That's the way it has to go.
We wouldn't be here. He wouldn't have found himself further engaging.
Look at that. When I offer these cops to go train with me at the gym, they're all cowards. See that?
Look what he's doing.
See how many push-ups you can do.
Type so fast. And he said he was afraid that I was going to run away, so he'll cause permanent nerve damage to me. You see that? Look how hard he's pressing. While they're making up that I'm on a narcotic, I don't take any drugs or any alcohol. 0.
I actually want to change it. I'm not so being a cop, right?
Because I don't know who you are.
I don't know who you are either. Why?
So I think right here, this is really telling. Right here, this is really telling that I'm explaining to the cop how wrong he is, and that he's just a bad person, and that he shouldn't be arresting me, and that if he's willing to let me go, that we can have a conversation and we can put it on the record. But before I get into that any further, I want to show you guys something. So this is a book that Clarkson sent me when I was in jail. The Supreme Court Justices, Illustrated Biographies, 1789 to 2012. And so what I did while I was in the dungeon is pretty much I transcribed this entire book. Like I mean, I went through every single page. I took notes on every single book there was, like on every single part of this book. I took notes and I just memorized every part of this book right here, Illustrated Biographies. And so a lot of the things I learned about the Supreme Court will come from Illustrated Biographies. This is a great book, by the way, if you guys want to get it. Bruce, good to see you, man. Bruce, I got your last letter. I tried to reply to you, but you wouldn't get it in time by the time that you would have got it. So anyway, thanks, Bruce, for your letters. I appreciate it. So what I learned about the Supreme Court justices right back here is that if you can work yourself to death. So these are the Supreme Court justices and the years they were the Supreme Court justice, who appointed them, every detail about Supreme Court justices. And I studied this so in depth. I read this book twice. I did this book twice. And I took notes on every single, you see how it's a mess? Because I stayed in this book constantly. And what I learned is you can work yourself to death. If you're in your late 40s, early 50s, early 60s, right? Just understand something. If you work at a pace where you're working 15, 18 hours a day, you'll die. And after I learned what I learned about the Supreme Court justices, I am, can you guys hear me okay? Oh. Any better? Is that better? Is that okay? Sorry about that. Is that all right? Hopefully I didn't run this cord over. Are we back? 0 by 5, huh? There we go. Can you hear me okay now? Do we have the sound back? Hopefully this sound is out now. Hopefully we got it back. Let me just make sure that I got the system settings. Go down to sound right here real quick. There we go. Are we back? Okay. So cool. So listen, I'm not going to work myself to death. We're going to sue these people and we're going to hold them accountable. And then we're going to have a big party. I mean, why not? Listen, if you work as hard as I was working, I'm going to kill myself. And I don't want to kill myself. So I want to make sure that I live long enough to enjoy overturning Terry versus Ohio and getting rid of the torture cuffs. I want to see it happen. I don't want to die at 70. I turned 50 in September. I don't want to die young. So that's why I said, listen, let's have a good time. Let's work hard. Let's stay focused on the task, but let's not work ourselves completely to death, which is the way I was heading, which is the way I was really heading. And if I hadn't read about all those Supreme Court justices dying at 62, dying at 49, dying at 58, I would have just kept on working myself to death. And I'm not going to do that. I swear to you, when this live stream is over, I'm going over to see some friends and family. As soon as I leave here, I'm going to see friends and family. I'm not going to work myself to death. I'm so happy. Thanks for joining, man. Thank you guys. I appreciate it. It's good to be back. It's good to see you guys. And if you guys can't tell, I'm not going to walk around like I just sucked a lemon all day, every day. No how, no way. You may have cheated me, but it ain't over. It's just beginning. It is just beginning.
I mean, it could be more than a decade for adjustment, but I don't know. Not against you, I don't think. Because you didn't do anything to me.
So I didn't even want to have to come talk to you. I was just trying to finish my business with the car stop.
I don't know why you did it, dude.
So,
You went too far.
because I don't know who you are.
I don't know who you are either. You know, if you're a homicidal, there's a percentage of cops who sign up to kill people. Not all of them, but a percentage. So I don't know which one you are. Maybe 1 out of 1,000 does that, but what if you're the 1 out of 1,000? So you don't know who I am either. What if I'm the 1 out of 1,000 who wants to film but secretly wants to shoot you? Come on, bro.
I don't. I mean, I'm sure you don't trust me, but I don't. That's not my intent. My intent is to safely encounter this driver here and have a conversation with them and business with them about whatever violation they did.
Then why am I in cuffs?
Because you also committed a violation that was more serious than what they had committed.
It was a serious violation?
More serious than what I had in front of me.
I think you're, you know, as far as a man, I think you're more than this, dude. I see you as more than this. I'm sorry you don't.
So for next time, just so you understand what I was trying to explain to you, you can film me. I don't care about the phone. People film me all the time. Usually I wave and smile and say hi. But when you come up to my driver and you're talking to my driver, it's not your business. If you were to be by, let's say that truck, for example, that's far enough away that I know you're not going to be involved. And if you want to film, that's cool. I'll ignore it. I know some cops get pissed off about it. I'm not pissed off about you filming.
Oh, no. Yes, you were, Copper.
What I'm upset about is that you started engaging with my driver and you had no business to.
It's not his driver.
If you want to talk to them after I release them, I'm okay with that. That's fine. Have a conversation with them.
See, now, we could have had this conversation publicly and you wouldn't get sued. If you guys said, okay, let's not arrest him, you know, here's how the cop feels, here's how I feel, you're not going to change being a cop, right? I'm not going to stop filming cops. So instead of you dragging me to a dungeon and charging me with crimes, we could have had this public conversation about, hey, here are my boundaries of you filming, and made that a public conversation. And we were going to arrest him, but we didn't. Instead, to have this, and he was going to sue, but he didn't. Instead, we had this public conversation about what we want as cops and what you want as auditors.
There it is right there. And so that is what the judge and the jury are going to hear in the federal civil rights lawsuit, that I gave him 10 different chances to get out of this so that we wouldn't escalate this. Take me out of these cuffs and unarrest me and let me go, and let's have a public conversation. Because when the public conversation starts, that's when we can talk about the torture cuffs being torture. That's when we can talk about the policies, procedures, and protocols that these JBTPs are using that are abusive and inhumane and unjust and criminal. But we can't have that conversation as long as it's us versus them and there's no more communication. And that's the way it's going right now. But this is going to force this JBTP right here. He's going to have to face it now. Mr. Bork is going to have to face it now, because I gave you plenty of outs, Bork, and you decided to say no.
That would be far more productive than you taking me to a dungeon and suing me. We would actually get somewhere bridging the divide.
Well, let's be productive moving forward, but I can't ignore what already happened here today.
You can't ignore what already happened. And by the way, Michael Eline, thanks, man, for your support. I've sent you the link. I sent you the link to. Sorry about that. I sent you the link to StreamYard. Michael Eline. Thank you for all your support, man.
You can take these cuffs off me. I can tell you I'm not going to sue you, and we can do the public conversation about here's what the cops want when they audit, when you're auditing them, and here's what we want. Because what you just said to me has a lot of value, and it would go a long way in the community if you just let your guard down and set it.
What do you think other people would do if I let you go right now?
I think, what would they say about me for not suing you and the guy torturing me? They're going to say Chille let down a little bit, and he let down a little bit, and now they're having a public conversation about, if you're going to audit, don't talk to the driver while the cop's talking, because he wants to do his job. And that's a very valuable piece of information that everybody in the auditing community could hear and then be like, oh, okay, so that's a boundary. Okay. Instead, we won't have that conversation. You know, and I want to bridge the gap. I don't just want to hate cops. I actually want to change it. I'm not just some frauditor trying to make money from YouTube. I'm an executive, dude. I quit my executive job to do this. A huge pay cut, by the way. But unless you drop your ego a little bit and I drop mine, I want to sue the shit out of Sandoval for torturing me. But if I tell you I won't, then I won't. And if you unarrest me, then you unarrest me. And then we set a schedule to sit down face to face and say, I was going to arrest him, I was going to sue him, and we both backed down. And here's what we learned.
That goes so much further than this bullshit we're doing right now, dude.
So here's the options that I have, okay? I can't unarrest you, but hear me out. I can either fully book you into the jail where you have court tomorrow morning, or I can issue what's known as a Class 2 citation. Have you ever been issued one of those before?
Okay, so here's what they do in the dungeon. All right. So let me. I know I've been on here for a couple hours, but let me explain something to you, okay? That I actually learned from a book called Atlas Shrugged. If you haven't read Atlas Shrugged, you should read the book. You have to have a purpose in life. You have to set a purpose way up here. Now, purpose means you have to have thinking behind the purpose to get to your purpose. Morality equals thinking. So if you set a purpose up here, then you have to strive to get to that purpose using your reason, your ability to think. You cannot exchange purpose for team. Doesn't work. You can go to the VA in California and you can see all of the veterans surrounded around there sleeping in tents because they were sold a bag of goods that they could replace purpose for being on a team. So what do they do at the dungeon? What they'll say is, Code 5 male will be at the jail in 5 minutes or 10 minutes. Now listen carefully to what Sandoval is saying here, or to what Bork is saying here.
Basically, it's a ticket that you get processed through the jail. They fingerprint and photograph you, and then it's a walkthrough. And what it does is it removes you from the area because you're...
I don't know why the sound goes out here, but it does.
Anyway, okay? And it can't continue here right now.
Well,
so what I can do is I can issue the Class 2 citation. It's a walkthrough, and you'll be right out. You'll be out like an hour or so. Don't quote me on that.
will you have
But something...
conversation?
What's that?
Will you have the conversation? Will you sit down on camera and talk about your boundaries for auditors?
That's not something that my department usually lets us do. There's a position for that, and I'm sure that they would be happy to talk to you.
Well, how good is this going, dude?
But they're not going to let me personally.
But how good is it going between citizens and police? It's going terrible. It's going worse than ever. It's not getting better. So I'm trying, but I've tried to do it nice, and you guys would never sit down and talk with me. And now I'm going hardcore with you guys. Let's have a public conversation.
So we have a position for that. We have officers for that. Their whole job is to do that type of thing. To answer your question, I could, but then to answer your questions. Know who they're talking to. They know, what topics you're going to be talking about. That way, everybody is in the know. My job is different from that. I'm just a patrol officer. I'm a lowly patrol officer.
Well, you're a lowly patrol officer who's about to lose your qualified immunity.
You're not lowly, dude. You're a man.
Right.
Well, I appreciate that. But does that make sense, though? Like, there is a position.
I don't like you putting me in cuffs, dude. You're a man.
Reach out to our headquarters. That's where they all are.
I've done this, dude. It goes nowhere. We never get anywhere. It never changes, and it has to change. I don't just want to do this for people to notice who I am. They already do. I want to do this because I actually want to change this. Like, for example, dude, you guys have me on camera. I'm not going to try.
So then it's pretty funny. So then they show a little bit of this trial, and then this guy comes in, and this guy here, I don't know who this guy is. I've never seen him, but some of the, I guess one of the editors grabbed this guy's footage.
Probably two. And practice, he's going to get convicted of at least one charge, probably two.
Okay.
And
so first of all, I don't know who the guy is. Thanks for your analysis. I don't agree with all of it, but I appreciate you breaking it down and giving your perspective. That's fine. So, but he was wrong on half the things that he said. He just was wrong. He was incorrect. And the case would be overturned and my convictions will be removed from my record because I did not obstruct and I did not resist, because you cannot resist an unlawful order. So, but he gives some perspective in this video, and thanks for doing it.
And he's going to then get probation, where he's going to have to now comply with a lot of things. Or he's going to be.
And so you described an
So here's two of them on the same page. Both of these right here, both of these people right here are getting sued. Both of them. There's Agnes over here. Agnes, I think her name is Botholo, and this guy's named Brandon Bork. Both of these people will lose their qualified immunity. Agnes, she watched the video. She knew I backed up, but she continued to lie. And that's going to be NAPU versus Illinois, where prosecutors are warned not to lie when they're doing testimony. And Bork should be on the Brady list for lying as well. Both of these people are going to have to face their immunity being stripped.
Related individual coming over to, your stop.
Yes.
Okay, can you describe this individual?
He was a white male adult. He was wearing bright colored hoodie and blue jeans.
Okay. That individual, do you see him here in court today?
Yes, I do.
Can you please point to him and describe something he's wearing?
He's wearing a suit and a blue tie.
Your Honor, please let the record reflect identification of the defendant.
So ordered.
And so what do you do upon seeing this individual approach the driver of the vehicle you had stopped?
Initially, when I saw him, he was just recording. I ignored him, continued my records check. Then when he came over to the driver and started speaking with them, I got out of the car, approached the driver, and told DeCastro to back up.
Okay. And so when you asked the defendant to back up, did he follow your order?
No, he did not.
Okay. And so what did you do next?
Right there.
I gave him 3 additional warnings to back up.
Okay, so it was lie after lie after lie. She knew that he was lying. He knew that he was lying. She watched the video. Where, are you just blind? Is the prosecutor just blind? She can't see that I backed up 3 or 4 feet, which I never do, but I was right at the 10-foot mark, so I backed up just a little bit. And so the prosecutor is pushing a lie. The cop is lying. They're just sitting there lying, and it put me in jail for 4 months. The prosecutor knew better. She didn't watch the video? I mean, come on, she saw the video, right? She knew better, but she kept the lie going anyway.
Okay, and did he obey those orders?
No, he did not.
And what, if anything, did you do with the driver of the stopped vehicle?
So she lied, and then he lied, and then she lied, and then he lied.
Monday.
At that point, I chose to release the driver of the Hyundai and then focus my attention on Jose DeCastro.
Okay, and can you tell Judge Zimmerman the nature of your interaction with the defendant after that?
I ordered DeCastro to the front of my patrol vehicle while pointing at it and told him that he was detained.
Okay. And what was the purpose of detaining him?
For obstructing my initial traffic stop with the Hyundai.
Okay. And did he obey your lawful order?
No, he did not.
So right there, Agnes lies again. There was no lawful order. There was no obstruction. So she lies twice. Did he obey your lawful order? It's not a lawful order. That's why the resisting charge was also overturned.
And what happened next?
He continued filming me. I continued pointing toward my patrol vehicle, continued telling him he was detained. All the while, he just continued shifting his body around, recording me on the phone, and refusing to go to the car.
Okay. So what did you do in response?
I led him to the car. I said, okay, fine, let's go. And then he grabbed me, which when he put his hand out, I naturally put my hand there because it's protect yourself at all times. If you don't protect yourself at all times, they may body slam you and break your back. We've seen it how many times? Put a 1 in the chat if you've seen it when someone decides to go limp or they just go, okay, do whatever you want to my body. And the cop physically hurts them badly.
I used my hand to escort him to the patrol vehicle. So I placed my hand on his shoulder. And at that point, he swatted my hand away.
Swatted your hand away. That is just another lie. It's an absolute lie. I put my hand up like this when the hand was coming at my face right here. So my hand went here. His fingertips touched the palm of my hand. And then he said, you swatted my hand away. I said, I just put my hand like this. It's protect yourself at all times. And you should protect yourself at all times.
And what happened next?
That's when I grabbed him by the shirt and I spun him around. And then we ended up at the front of my patrol vehicle.
And Brandon Bork didn't spin anybody around. I was underneath of him. He is what he is. But you don't let someone else get underneath of you, especially if they're 5 foot 8 inches tall and have wrestled for 30 years. You don't put your hands on top, but he's what he is.
The ball's still standing.
At some point, did you request additional units to respond to the scene?
I did. That was before I grabbed him.
Okay.
When I initially detained him.
Okay. And I'm sorry, once you had him at your patrol vehicle, or the front, the hood of your patrol vehicle, what happened next?
Officer Dingley, another officer in the area, had arrived, and he came over to help me handcuff.
Okay. And were you successful, or did the defendant cooperate in being handcuffed?
He did not cooperate. I told him 7 times to face my patrol vehicle. He did not listen. I told him 6 times to turn around. He did not listen.
I would stop that one and ask how he knew how many times.
So this guy who's talking here, I don't know who he is. He gives some good analysis. I mean, some of the things I disagree with, but you know, hey, he's an attorney. Apparently, he's got every right to do analysis.
He must have been studying his testimony. What were you looking at? Oh, I was looking at my police report. So your recollection is actually cloudy. You only can recall it because of what you wrote down at the time, and what you wrote down at the time could probably be an error. See, none of this is being challenged right now.
It wasn't until I told him that he was going to go to jail, that was the consequence of not listening, that he allowed us to handcuff.
Okay. And after he was handcuffed, but when he was handcuffed, was it just you and Officer Dingle present?
Yes.
Okay. Once he was handcuffed, what, if anything, happened next?
He continued to argue with my partners, Officer Dingley and some other officers that were starting to show up. And then I focused my roles in completing the report and calling the sergeant because he requested a supervisor.
Okay. And at some point, was he arrested for account of obstructing a public officer?
Yes.
And also for resisting a public officer or resisting arrest?
Yes.
And was he, at any point in time during your interaction with him or your continued visual of his interaction with other officers, did he cooperate with any of the officers present at the scene?
No, he kept shifting around, and normally we have people stand still in front of our car, and I could hear him arguing with the other officers.
Objection, lack of foundation. We don't.
I mean, like, what are you talking about? We want people to hold still in front of our cars. You don't get dominion over me, bud. You're not my God. You don't decide if I can look this way or look this way. And that's what they tried to do. This guy's a bad cop. He's just a bad cop. Period. He's a bad cop. He's going to lose his qualified immunity. And then the Las Vegas Police Protection Association is going to have to pay his bill. And we're going to have a party, Bork. We're going to have a party. And it's going to be in your honor for being the bad cop you are. He should be removed from the police force. He should go on the Brady list for lying on the stand. That's what should happen here. And he's just a bad cop.
We don't have those officers here to testify whether or not that is true. He's basically testifying as to what they thought and believe. I would have objected to this.
You indicated you had your body worn camera turned on at this time.
Yes.
So there's quite a bit of this. I've just put the link for this video in the chat if you guys want to watch the whole thing. I haven't watched this entire thing, but I wanted to thank the lawyer for his analysis. I appreciate that. And now this was the video.
I had shackles on my ankles, shackles on my wrist, had my waist chain around my belly. My nerves were popping and jerking, and I had all these feelings in my chest and in my heart. It was super intense for me internally, and I was just listening to what my defense attorney was saying, what Chris Orem was saying.
The police officer testifies that this auditor approaches, says that he's a member of the press, identifies him immediately as a member of the press. I have video here. I also have exhibits. In Click, they begin speaking about that officers.
My lawyer kept calling it Click, but it's Glick. But I don't know how it's pronounced, but whatever.
In that case, the person's filming on the Boston Common, filming from 10 feet away, 10 feet away. That's very relevant because the police officer in that case said Mr. DeCastro was 10 feet away. The First Circuit then goes on to talk about that officers sometimes retaliate because they don't like it. They don't like it. And they said that's what happened in Click. The officers didn't like it. You don't film us. You have no right to film us. So what does Mr. DeCastro do? When the officer tells him back up, I can prove he does. I've attached the exhibits. I don't, if the state wants me to, I'll put it up and I'll show it, but we can see from Exhibit A that where Mr. DeCastro is standing, he's standing in a particular parking space. We can see in Exhibit B, he has now moved back. So the state, to continuously argue he would not back up, why are they doing that? Because they want to say he won't follow the commands. What Click is deciding is not like this court deciding whether there's criminal activity. Click is suing the officers, and the officers are over in federal court saying, oh no, give us qualified immunity. And the federal court said, no, not for this. You're not getting, for arresting somebody who's filming, you're going to get sued. You're not getting qualified immunity. You're going to have to fight.
Exactly what Bork will have to deal with.
Fight this and go to a jury. I think that's very relevant because that's what's going to happen with this officer.
The judge knows I backed up. She watched the video, and there is no 21-foot rule.
The Wilson court determines that the only way to impede, the only way that you impede is that you have fighting words or you physically do it. I have no doubt, I know you've watched this video, and I could see how anybody could look at it.
So let me answer this real quick. So I have a question. Why do people have to be taken back to the jail when the judge has released them immediately? So just so you know, as you know, I'm suing Clark County Detention Center for cruel and unusual punishment. And also, I want to start a class action lawsuit against Clark County Detention Center because from my limited knowledge here, I haven't had a lot of chance to do the research. Clark County Detention Center is owned by somebody. They subcontract out the work to the state employees who they then pay. Then they figure how much the food's going to cost, how much electricity and the water and all that's going to cost. And then that privately owned jail then makes a profit on top of whatever they're charging the state. So there's no in the state of California, just so you know, here in California, they've made it so that when you get released from jail, you have to be released in 4 hours. You have to be released within 4 hours. So, I'm going to lose power here pretty soon. So within 4 hours, you have to be released from the jail. Well, why is that? Because the state of California that also has a bunch of privately owned jails and prisons, the same thing was happening. These people at the Clark County Detention Center, their policy, practice, and procedure is to make sure that you stay in the jail for 12 to 24 hours more. Well, why is that? Even if they're only making $100 per person, there was 5 people in my dorm waiting to be released on their own recognizance probation or being relieved from jail as I was. So if you take 5 people per each dorm, there's 70 plus dorms. That's $35,000 extra the Clark County Detention Center is making every single day. $35,000 by not releasing people in a timely manner. And Clark County Detention Center, you're going to have to face that because we're going to sue you for that. And then just so you know, they tried to keep me locked up. They tried to keep me locked up and said that, only one of my cases was overturned on appeal, not the other case. So I'm just telling you, the Clark County Detention Center's got another thing coming.
This and hear the speech, get in your car, little doggy, and write your ticket, and find that to be annoying. I see that. But that's protected. And we've been told that's protected now by our courts in Nevada, by numerous federal courts. And the state says something interesting, which I understand the state's advocating. The state says that trial counsel filed a memorandum. Well, I'm like, it was comical. I understand what the state's doing. They're saying they need to try to protect their conviction. But the trial counsel, what he did is he filed some memo that right when the judge is making her decision, finding him guilty, she's like, what memo? And when I filed them, she didn't read. And then the state correctly, the state said, strike it. It's late. We should give you the opportunity to go look at it. Maybe my rendition of it is not the way you want to go. It's the state's rendition. But the fact of the matter is, at least you had it. And Judge Zimmerman didn't. And the police officer testified, well, the driver had a right to privacy. Like, the driver doesn't have it.
The driver's out in public. I don't know if the driver had a right to privacy. When you're out in public,
you don't have a right to it. And here's another thing, Judge. The state then comes back in their response. Mr. Chen always does an excellent job. And he is here as well. And he cites a bunch of cases, every single case. It made me realize when I read it that they have real legal problems. They've got problems with the law. Because what I did is I read every single one of their cases. And what I found was, oh, this is not at all what these things stand for. Your marshal showed incredible restraint. I know that because I watched her try to kick him in the groin. She tried to kick him, and I watched it happen.
So it's funny because Orem and the way he masterfully goes up and down, high, low, pulls back, moves forward, puts his point down, steps back, puts his point in, steps back. I mean, he just schooled this guy Chen from beginning to end. And then Kat Law points out that in Nevada, in Las Vegas, it needs to be changed, that you get released from the dungeon, but then they keep you for an extra day so the dungeon can make more money. There's no reason in the world to just take you 24 hours to get out of a jail unless they're fleecing, unless the Clark County Detention Center is making more money. That's the simple fact. That's what's happening. We all know that's what's happening. That's exactly what's happening. Put a 1 in the chat if you agree. That's what the Clark County Detention Center is doing. 12 to 24 hours to put you in the computer and have you released? That's a load of shit on a stick. It is such a scam. It is unbelievable. It is such a scam.
And I don't think she was arrested. At some point, they did everything they could to just get her out of here. She was so obnoxious and abusive to your marshal. Yet the restraint shown was remarkable. I remember that because I addressed it with Officer Hawkins.
Which, by the way, the bailiff hated himself being used as an example.
How did you do that? To me, it was amazing that a human being could practice that type of restraint. And that's what he did. And that's what this officer should have done. Get in your car, little doggy, and write a ticket. First of all, he's telling him to write the ticket. He's not obstructing him. He's just, it's like a directive. Counsel, be quiet and sit down. Okay, that's a directive. But you're not obstructing me from being quiet and sitting down. He's telling him to do it. And so I don't understand how the state can argue when I can see it for myself that the officer was concerned for officer safety. When he says that, when Mr. DeCastro says it, you can see the officer just gets irritated beyond my God, you don't say that to me. He just comes at him. He doesn't pull a taser or anything like that. He's like, you're detained. And then he grabs him pretty hard. And he's trying to say, well, I'm a member of the press. I'm a member of the press. You can't do this to me. He tells him, call your supervisor. Don't do this to me. And he's like, he brings out 2 cell phones. So he's not armed. You know what he is. And even the officer said he knew about First Amendment auditors, but didn't say that they shoot people because he was asked that. He goes, I don't know if I said that. He was agitated. This wasn't about fear. This was about truth be told. You can see it's obvious. The police officer was agitated. And the federal courts talk about that. He didn't stop.
So Jungle is Massive. I want to tell you something here real quick. So Jungle is Massive is said that West Valley Detention Center in San Bernardino is run by Bob Barker and their pads, food, everything. I'm not sure what you meant by the last part, Jungle is Massive, but just so you know, what he said holds water. What Jungle is Massive just said is true. When I was in the Clark County Detention Center dungeon, a guard said to me, you see the shoes that you're wearing? I was wearing these little rubber flappy shoes. He said, those shoes were provided by Bob Barker, the guy from The Price is Right. When his son was put in the dungeon and his son didn't get shoes, Bob Barker then made it his mission to make sure that people who were put in the dungeon would get a pair of shoes to wear. The shoes that I was wearing were provided by Bob Barker. I swear to God, that's what the guard told me when I was in the dungeon.
Anything. He didn't grab the officer. He backed off from the officer. Yes, maybe annoying. Yes, maybe provocative. But it is not obstruction. It's not resisting. These are trumped up charges. And that's what the cases show. They can't show you a case. Not a single case could they rely on to show this is obstruction or resistance. Not once. And in fact, like I said, I think trial counsel should have presented it to the judge beforehand. Then the judge could make the correct decision without even a trial. I think if the court had seen it beforehand and not being so agitated by calling the marshal a name, that the court could have ruled that this is clearly protected First Amendment speech.
He read all the cases that the DA presented as facts against me and said these cases actually work in your favor. He was completely prepared, and he would come forward and then kind of drop his voice back down and humbly and meekly then again present the argument. Back and forth he went, and he had notes in front of him. He never stammered.
First, I'd like to thank Mr. Oram. Considering that our response was called comical, I appreciate the nice words from him today. Regarding first and foremost with the ineffective assistance of counsel claim, even if counsel could have done it, we're still focusing on the prejudice problem. Ultimately, we're here, and this is the appellate court for this matter, so this court's going to make a matter of law decision. So I think ultimately everything regarding that issue gets resolved on a prejudice problem, whether or not Judge Zimmerman was.
So we can listen to this guy stammer and stutter and lose his mind, but he lost. And there's Charlie. There's my little guy. Hello, Charlie. Say hello to everybody. Want to say hello? Say hello, Charlie. Kisses. Kisses. So there he is. There's the little guy back in the saddle. He was laying down. He didn't want to get up at all whatsoever. He wanted to keep laying down. And so I'll drop this video right here. You can watch this whole thing.
Prize of the information that he wishes to put forth today. Now, with regard specifically to the First Amendment claim, Mr. Oram mentions that we cite.
So yeah, this is just right here. Derek said it. We set precedent for the state of Nevada that you can't be arrested now for filming cops unless you physically obstruct. So what Derek Morris said here is 100% the truth now. So now in the state of Nevada, if you want to record cops, you can cite DeCastro versus state, because that proves that obstruction is a physical act. And as soon as I'm back in Las Vegas, Nevada, I'm going to go out and film some cops. So be prepared. It'll say live from Las Vegas when I'm filming cops in Las Vegas, Nevada. And for each and every one of you JBTPs, I'm going to be filming you cops in Las Vegas, Nevada. I can't wait. I can't wait. I give you my word, I'm going to go out and film cops within the next week or two. I'm going to be out filming cops because I have a right to film you. It's my First Amendment right. I'm going to keep fighting for that until the end of time. I'm not going to stop under any circumstances, under any conditions. I'm going to continue. I will not stop because we don't stop. If I get put in jail, we're going to do the whole thing again, but I am not going to stop filming cops. No how, no way, not ever. Someone said, I hate Bob Barker. Who just said they hated Bob Barker? That was really funny. Bob Barker's a G, man. You can't hate a guy that took his money and his time and he invested it into helping people who were getting completely railroaded by the system. So listen, let's do this. Share this fundraiser right here. Let's really blow it out. Tomorrow, I'm going to be reading the other fundraisers that we did while I was put away in the dungeon. Thanks, Kent. Thanks, Ed. Thanks, Russell. I appreciate you guys. Here's the link for the GoFundMe right here. We're going to have one hell of a party in Las Vegas, Nevada. No matter what, I'm going to sue these people. No matter what it takes. I'm going to sue the judge. I'm going to sue the prosecutor. I'm already suing the cop. I'm going to add the prosecutor for malicious prosecution, and I'm going to sue the judge for being biased and unprincipled. That's what's going to happen no matter what. No matter what. That's what I'm going to do. If I have to spend all my time, all my money, all my energy on going after the biased, unprincipled judge, the maliciously prosecuting prosecutor, and the corrupt cop, then I'm going to do that. And we need to get the cop put on the Brady list. Tomorrow or the next day, I'm going to read the judicial complaint we're going to file, and I'm going to have a little competition to see who wants to contribute to the judicial complaint going in against Ann Zimmerman. That's what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen. There's just no way. There's just no way. I shouldn't have mentioned Bob Barker. Christy, how you doing, honey? Good to see you. How's that baby of yours doing? I'd like to see more pictures of that baby. Adam, are you in here? As I see Adam Claw. There's Adam. Good to see you, man. Good to see you guys. Listen, this has been, I've been on for 2 hours and 20 minutes. Danelle, I see you right there, Danelle. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. We don't stop. Team DLZ. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Like it's, just so I'll drop the link for this main video we're watching right here. If you guys haven't seen this yet, this is a 20-minute video that came out the other day. I'll put it in the chat down below. There it is. So, I don't have the words to share the gratitude that I feel, to share how humble it is for a person to get donations to help them with their legal battle. I don't have the words to put it into context. It's like trying to look through a kaleidoscope and explain what you're seeing. I can't explain it. I think the saying is trying to explain a kaleidoscope to a blind man, but it's just impossible to explain to you guys how I feel when I look at those GoFundMe's and, $55,000, $60,000 is raised from individual people who are throwing in 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, $100. I just don't have the words to say thank you enough. There's not enough words, because literally without you, I would have gone under. I'm just telling you, it's just the truth. I'm not a multimillionaire. And so putting you in jail for 4 months immediately from the dungeon, and this is a question I asked from jail. Why isn't there a text message system for people who have warrants for not paid child support or for an unpaid ticket? Why isn't there a text messaging service? And then additionally, why do you have to go to jail right now? That judge wanted to sentence me to jail. Okay, why do I got to go now? Why can't you give me 3 days to get my affairs in orders? She could have. Why do, when you get pulled over, if you're not a danger to yourself or society, why do they have to impound your car and put you in jail right this second? Why is that? These are legitimate questions. Say you get pulled over and you haven't paid a traffic ticket. Why do you have to go to jail right now? Why can't they follow you to your house, drop your car off, then give you 48 hours to come up with the money so you don't have to go to the jail system? Because it's a money racket. It's Civic Core and it's Geo Group. They want your car to be impounded. They want you to go to the dungeon. They want to disorient you, take away your cell phone. Why isn't there a text messaging service? And why is it you have to go to jail right now? You get pulled over, you haven't paid a ticket. Okay, great. The cop can't follow you to your house and then give you a timer with a tracking device on your wrist that gives you 48 hours to come up with the money for your ticket. It's because the jail system's a racket. It's its own financial system. And they're taking money out of the private sector and putting it into the government sector is what they're doing. And it has to change. It absolutely has to change. So listen, for all of you guys who have been with me the whole time, thank you. There's no way to really my life would have been ruined. When you lose your car and you lose your housing and you lose your office, your life is ruined when you come out. So it's because of you guys that my life was not absolutely ruined. I still have a little bit of money in savings because of you guys. Without it, I wouldn't have made it. And I still had to come up with another $10,000 or $15,000 to cover the legal bills. But because of you guys, I can't see what that says. I'm sorry. It says, even though you were proven correct, you did state you might change your technique. You think foul and cruel language makes you look bad. But at the same time, they have to be able to take provocative and challenging language from the public. And that's what I'm doing, is testing the boundaries of my First Amendment right. But I will change my game ever so slightly. And I've got some really cool stuff coming out that I want to share with you guys. But this live stream here was to say thank you. I covered a little bit of the trial. I covered a little bit of the appeal trial, but this was really to say thank you, because I would have been completely ruined. I would have been ruined. And you guys jumped together and you absolutely saved me from being completely and utterly ruined. I know you're speechless and overwhelmed, and that's okay. We'll understand. Love you. Your friends will always have your back. This from Danelle Brown, who I would check my books and there'd be money on my books in my commissary. So thanks for that. I really appreciate it. It's there's just no other way to say it. You know, I just, you want to kiss the hand of every single person that helped you survive. That's what you want to do. You want to take the hand, bend the wrist, and thank you so much for helping me. I want to be able to thank every single person who donated to me. Chevy yesterday donated to me again now. I don't have the words to be able to say thank you enough. They just don't exist. There's just no way. Michael Eline for coming in and doing the live streams. I can give him a little bit of money. I can say thank you 1,000 times, but what he did for me, I can't really thank him for it. Brian from Here's the Deal coming in, pushing those fundraisers, making sure I had enough money to cover my legal bills, going on my channel, doing a live stream. Brick, BZ Watchdog, Texas Gal. There's no way you can thank these people other than saying thank you. But just so you know, it always feels inadequate. It feels like I haven't done enough. So when we win the 7 figures, I'll make sure you guys have a room in the hotel where we're having a gigantic party, because we're going to have one heck of a giant party. We're going to have a huge party when we win the 7 figures, which we're going to get multi-million-dollar lawsuit for this. And Bill Roberts, I'm going to have you come. I'm going to have you guys come. That's all I can really do. Do you know what I mean? Other than, I don't know what I can and can't say about doing a GoFundMe. So it's, I don't, you guys saved my ass. You guys saved my ass. There's no other way to say it. There's no other way to say it. You guys, you know, Brick Jones coming in, Bruce with your letters and your, like, you guys saved me. You saved me emotionally. You saved me financially. You saved me spiritually. And then eventually you physically saved me from being completely alone. When they didn't let me out of that dungeon after being there 24 hours, that jail probably got called 1,000 times. And you guys did that. Let's go OTVO. You guys all did this for me. And I don't have the words to be able to say thank you enough. Other than, I swear to God, we're going to get a 7-figure deal and we're going to have the biggest party that Vegas has ever seen with Team DLZ. We'll bring in a bunch of YouTubers. We'll bring in a bunch of you guys, and we're going to have a huge party. Now, I don't drink or smoke or do drugs. So, you know, be a square party for me, but maybe I'll have a glass of wine. I don't know. I don't know if I want to drink anything. I don't know if I want to drink anything. Press with Rancor is here, everybody. Jody is here. Hey, Jody, how you doing? Nice to see you, Jody. Thank you for coming. Duke of Earl's here. Thank you. Appreciate it. Chase is here. Philip is here. SS is here. Doctor. I just saw Dr. Emel Brown. I think that was. Kimberly's here. It's just, wow. Soy Leal. What's going on, Soy Leal? Press with Rancor. There it is. Press with Rancor. Thanks, man. There it is, man. There it is. There's just no way. There's no Jack the Traveler. Thanks, man. James Lucas, Mark Bear, 3 of 8. James Alley, good to see you. Blue Black, good to see you. Good to see you all. Thank you guys so much for coming. Jack, nice to see you. Wow. It's just, there's just no way to properly thank you guys then other than to say thanks. From me to you, thanks. Now, listen, I've been on here for 2.5 hours. I want you guys to go and spend some time with your family. I'm going to go spend more time with my family. I'm only going to work 10 or 11 hours a day, and then I'm cutting the string right there. I'm going to live to be 90 to watch these changes happen.
that we're pushing so hard to implement. We got to get rid of the torture cuffs. We got to get rid of this dungeon system. We have to overturn Terry versus Ohio. We have to get the Supreme Court elected. We got to get cameras in every single courtroom. Got to get a helmet cam on cops so we can see what their hands are doing 24/7. I've designed some new stuff I'll be sharing with you over the next few weeks. So, all right. Last one. Congratulations to Castro. Grace is strange, beautiful thing. I 2-1 in court yesterday. Went to a felony trial and everything. My lawyer did $50,000 worth of work, but only charged me $20K. Congratulations, Jacob. Chris Alderson, thank you for coming, man. Listen, I just want to, there's no way. Thank you. All right, I'm going to get the flock out of here. Thank you guys for coming. I'll see you guys on the next one. Later, Gators.